we'll just jump right into it. Here we are. It's been a bit of a hiatus over the holidays there, but we are back for what is effectively the second half of the season. I got JB and Cal Young here with me. How's it going, guys?
Can't complain. Besides it being cold, but it's cold everywhere. So
I feel that I'm in Alberta, so
yeah, it's colder there than it is here. So enjoy.
We've been doing house renovations, and I've had the saw set up in the garage. So I'm like, okay, time to take everything out, put the car back in for the night, and so I can. But
we had some high wind overnight, and there's a whole bunch of ice out there in the strait that's threatening to come and get us. So there's all these blocks of ice that have been piled up in huge stacks out in the water, which has been a little strange. But it's an odd thing to wake up to this morning.
Fair enough. All right, and week 10 of the Schwartz Home Hardware Division. We'll get those standings up. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, sorry. Let's look at the lineup here. So we've got Toppler Roses against the Maniacs to start the day off, and we'll talk about all this after. But the Mayhem coming in for what is effectively their second week of playing after a rough start to their first week against the Rock and Rollers, and then Toppler again against Mayhem, so they'll get a little bit of a break. And then the Thunder finishing the day off against the Rock and Rollers. So the Rock and Rollers will have one game left after today. So their season will be almost complete. They are, and we'll bring the standings up, sitting in first with overall points, so points 4. Their percentage it's still good, but it's not the highest, right? We just have other teams that have more games to play than them. Like Roses, for example, with a really nice percentage, 641. Hoping to at least keep that or maybe improve upon it. They had some really good sets at the beginning of the season, but unfortunately their opponents had slightly better.
We could say that our percentage would be a little bit higher if we could bowl the 10th frame, but we're all right.
Yeah.
And so it really is strange that if you don't look very carefully, you'll think that Rock and Rollers are in first, but really they're somewhere in the first half, in the top half. I'm not, we're obviously a lot's going to come out in the next 4 hours. We'll find out whether they have a shot at the playoffs or not. I guess no matter what happens, they'll probably have a shot. It's just a question of how comfortable it'll be.
Yeah. Where is their seeding, right?
Yeah, like the team that we know that's making a big jump on that list, regardless, is going to be the Mayhem. Like the Mayhem, you have to think they're gonna find their rhythm, especially with 9 games remaining. That they're gonna climb the leaderboard here.
Yes,
it would be an expectation.
That's where you need one of those nice graphics where it runs over time. The animations where everybody moves, and you just see this Mayhem sitting last for the entire first half of the season, and then all of a sudden, woo!
Yep. Yeah. As a playoff team last year, right? You have to assume that they're not going to sit at 0.88 or 188. So, in fact, I wouldn't expect any team to finish at 0.188 in this entire league. So,
yeah. And I'm curious to find out from them how much of it is just whatever, let's just keep going, and how much of it is sort of that thing that tends to happen where when things go wrong, you want to get out there right away and fix whatever's going wrong. And so I'm curious how they're approaching this, or even if they remember that they're in this league, because it's been such a long time since they've played.
Well, I know that they remember because I've done a lot of commentary with Steve Barker, and he talks about it every time. So
had a long time to think about it. Okay.
Yeah. Geez. Speaking of, managers and related individuals, how about we run a quick animation and we get Stacy and the Toppler Roses and the Mint Maniacs managers in here, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Bam. That's why they created that, so there wasn't this weird thing where you guys just get pulled in. I'm supposed to do it while it's happening. So, how's everybody doing?
We're warm.
Yeah.
We're not.
I was like, I'm up in Red Deer. I know what's up.
Oh, it's cold in Red Deer.
I was going to say, which kind of warm?
Yeah. Is it warm in the inside? Yeah. So holidays were good for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you the Roses were looking forward to actually getting to play some more games after a little bit.
It's been a while.
Yeah, right? You played a bunch in the beginning, and then that was about it.
So
And-
we all bowl together all the time, anyways, right? So
Yeah. And
family.
Maniacs, I know you guys have been kind of sprinkled throughout so far.
Yes.
One gamer today, same as the Caribou Thunder. So you get to start the day and they get to finish the day. But yeah, I know Maniacs are looking to take some points off of Top of Roses. I know Top of Roses aren't really going to let you do that easily. So I'm hoping for a really good match. Yeah, no freebies today, that's for sure. So, yeah, any questions from my crew? Because I'm talking way too much.
Oh, don't worry. I'm just enjoying hearing the
You're sitting
conversation.
in your dungeon with the concrete background there.
I actually am curious though if it really feels any different. So you've got one team that has played more throughout the season, one team that's had a bit more of a break. How does that feel for you? I can imagine that feeling like you're in it has its advantages, and maybe having a break has its advantages. So how does it feel for you folks having that difference in experience for your schedule this year?
We kind of went this route last year too. Like we were
Okay.
kind of slower starter. Like we only had a few games at the start,
Mhm.
and it kind of worked well for us. We poured it on at the end, came up a little bit short, so we're trying not to put ourselves in that situation again. But this is kind of the time where we get really into bowling, right? With more and more tournaments all the time. So I feel like it's a good time for us to play more matches.
Yeah.
We don't know any other way.
I'm sure
So
Stacey.
for
I
us,
guess
it's
you don't
like
really
one
have too much to
year,
compare
so-
it to yet.
Yeah.
That's
What
right.
about you,
Yeah.
Stacey? What about having the break?
I guess it would be kind of nice to know you were in the lead, but
Yeah.
this works.
I
Mhm.
think that like our schedule, it's combined with how the bowling schedule really is, right? Like people are amping up even probably the end of November, right? You bowl a little bit. There's lots of different tournaments that go out through Calgary through the Christmas holidays. So everybody's playing at doubles or bakers or something just to keep throwing. And now everybody's amped up. We already had our second set of masters and the opens coming up, and so it's all conducive together, right? So I think
Yeah.
we did this last year too, because November is kind of a hard month in Alberta and for Toppler because of all the tournaments we have to host. So I think we're just same old. I don't think anything different.
When it's pro league time, does it feel like this is really pro league time? We get to focus on this for a while as opposed to feeling scattered?
I think so. Now you're on the pedal, right? I mean, you are every time you come into pro league. There's never a weekend that's like easier than any other weekend, right? These teams are all so excellent that it's an even match every single time you're playing it, right? So it doesn't matter if you're November or October or if you're March, right? It's nice to get into more of a rhythm rather than having 8 weeks off, but it is what it is.
So, just before I get the lineups, I must admit, being an Alberta bowler or resident, whatever you want to say, I've seen Derek Holmes' face everywhere with a different belt every day. I swear. So, being a new player to the team, though, that must be, he must be feeling pretty good right now, I would assume. But
does Derek think? We don't know, right? Like Derek is a machine out there. Has been my whole entire life. I grew up bowling YBC with Derek since we were like 6 years old. So this is what he's been like forever, and it's no surprise to anybody that knows him or anybody that's ever watched him that he's just lights out right now.
All right. Well, let's jump into some of the lineups there. I think I can see the lineups, but if Stacey, how about you get your lineup first?
Sure. Our lineup goes Parker Anderson, Jennifer Smith, Daryl Wood, Rich Weber, Derek Holm. Subs this game will be Christine Poxa and Marcello, and on the bench this game is Pamela Wilson.
Okay. And on the Maniac side? Oh. And on the Maniac side for the lineup?
We have leading Dallas Vandale, Sean Dino, Krista Mulho, Lonnie Akers, Jack Muckley. We do not have any subs. We have our youth challenge provincials going on, so we're down a few. Michael's getting married. So yeah, we don't have any subs today. We're just got the 5.
Damn weddings. Yep. All right, well, let's jump into it and get this game started.
Play
Good luck,
well.
guys.
Awesome. Good luck, guys.
Yeah. Good luck, folks.
Yep. Let's see some big ones. Let's start it off hot. All right. So we'll do some intros here to the rosters. You know what? I'll do this one. I put it up there. I surprised everybody with it, so I should do it. We got Sean Dino, Zach Nielsen, Lonnie Akers, Jack Buckley, Dallas Vandale, Krista Mulhall, Don Mardell, and Michael Wist, with Tracy Pitt as their manager, bowling out of Minto Bowl. And okay, you guys can fight over the roses.
Oh, I'll go ahead. So for the roses, you got Parker Anderson, Rich Weber, Jennifer Smith, Derek Holm, Pamela Wilson, Marcelo, Daryl Wood, Christine Posca, and the manager is Stacy Weber, playing out of Toppler Bowl.
And just like that, we're into it. All right. Yeah, you know, I was looking at the standings. You know, Maniacs have played 3 games. Roses have played 4 games. Like I said, I think Maniacs has been like one every couple weeks, you know, considering this is week 10. Or I think the Roses were 2-2 right at the beginning, essentially. So
Yeah, and then going over like, you know, what Stacy was talking about too, I never really thought about that being like more of an advantage of playing a little bit later into the season, but it makes a lot of sense.
well, you're coming out of summer, right? I mean, everybody's rusty.
Easy start
Dallas
there.
not waiting at all.
Are we surprised that AC/DC throws a bomb to begin with here? Okay, I
I
gotta
want to
adjust
see
the
the
screen.
Angus Young like stepping off, the guitar playing stepping off there.
But one thing that, you know, that with the differences in when you play, because you, of course, you're going to get teams at different times. The weaker teams are going to want more variation, more luck, and the stronger teams are going to want more consistency. So I wonder if it's an advantage for the weaker teams to sort of play more sporadically so that maybe they get lucky and catch an opponent at a bad time, having a bad day, that kind of thing. Whereas the stronger teams will want more consistent playing time because they actually want their luck to even out. They want to make that's how you take advantage of your strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for us when we were trying to get make our schedule, it was more the concern for like the weather when it came to around this time of year, because you have myself and Brandon both live out of town. So just trying to make sure that you're not risking it on a weekend that's notorious for bad weather or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's what
And I
makes
know-
it absolutely delightful to go to Timmins in Regina in mid-February, where now I think 2 out of 4 years I haven't even been able to get a flight off this island.
Winter
Yeah.
sports.
Yes.
Hashtag winter sports.
Yep. All right, so Daryl throws
There we go. Yep.
basically the same ball 3 times, but slightly more on target than the last one there.
It's always so hard to say anything insightful or interesting in the first 2 or 3 frames because it really is just, well, we don't know what's going to happen yet, or
And we all
It's,
know
you
as
know,
bowlers that
wow,
the first
it's
couple of
6
frames don't dictate the game. I mean, definitely you can start off well, but like the game can change so much. Even those last 3 frames are huge, right? 8, 9, 10. You can see.
and
Just
especially
when
at this level, you know that the score after the first frame is almost certainly going to be about 100 apiece. So I mean, there's really not that much to say until we see who really throws that second strike.
Yeah. Looks like we got a tangle on the Maniac side, but that's okay because they've been throwing marks, so they're a little ahead.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. They
There you go.
moved the camera back slightly so they could get the score.
Yes.
All right, we'll get some camera adjustment time.
Yeah,
But there you go right
on it.
away. So I guess this is Mendez. So we have the typical, it doesn't count the doubles. We're going to have to do that ourselves. Okay, good to know.
Yes.
And it's just the doubles. I've never understood why, but Programmers do strange things.
Hey now. As a software developer.
Hey? Yes, you and as a consultant, I get to say it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, here we are. We are one ball different after one frame.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
the pins.
because you haven't been
Yeah.
able to count on any of those marks yet, right? Like you haven't been able to really do anything. So
Yeah,
the
no,
first
it's
frame is
literally one ball different in the third hole. So now this is the first big sign right here is what happens in 1, 4, 5. How many doubles?
I'm gonna turn up the Maniacs sound there because
All
we only
right.
have the. At least we'll get some sound happening. I have been told that a lot of teams actually don't have their sound so that they can, because they
They don't-
swear a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. or you get a place that's just really, really loud, so
Yeah.
you can't make out anything anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
Almost jump back on the deck.
that was a
Good attempt by
Yeah.
Parker.
Stacy says you don't want to hear us. You know what I'm gonna.
So I really don't know. I don't know the lanes very well. Does Toppler get the advantage of some kicks? Is it sort of above average, below average for that kind of thing? What's that like? That the 3-pin looked a little bouncy.
I think,
Mitch
well,
would probably be the better one to comment about some of the places there. I think I've played maybe once at Toppler when I was a kid, but I can't remember how it played. So
that's actually more than me because I grew up in Ontario. So my understanding is that Toppler is very fair. It was Parker Anderson throwing, so we're not surprised that the pin comes flying out with Parker throwing. But yeah, my understanding is Toppler is A-okay. Nothing wrong with Toppler. We do have some very fast throws. You know, Parker, Rich, Derek, they all throw the ball at intense speed, right?
Yeah.
So Daryl has more of a. It's still fast. Don't get me wrong, but a controlled throw. Not controlled. It's not like the other ones aren't controlled, but
We get what you mean. Oh, and here we go. So 3 splits, a split and 2 punches. Now we have an easy move here from Minto. This is now we get the first little test of which are the bowlers who are annoyed by that and which are the ones who are just not even looking at the score until the 7th frame.
I'll be like, it's the first time I think I've ever seen Lonnie bowl with a hat on, so that's something new.
You know what? It's working for him.
More aerodynamic.
Oh. Unfortunately, Jack is going to...
I don't know. Isn't he pretty aerodynamic with the hat off?
Oh, hey, now.
All right. Well, 7
Terrible.
for 10 in the middle for Minto, but only the 1 punch. So hard to complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather be 7 for 10 with 1 punch than 9 for 10 with 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5 unspirables.
Let's see if Derek can make it up, help the team out here on the double.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Only 1 double out of the 6, or 1 out of the 5 so far. So we'll just mark the double down for Derek and then move on to the 3rd frame.
Don't do the commentator jinx.
There is no such thing.
I have
No hitter, no hitter, no hitter, no hitter, no hitter.
Oh,
A wrong kind of walk away. Ooh.
JV, come on now, man.
That wasn't me. No.
Derek just turned around. He looked at the camera. He's like, "Thanks, JB."
You guys are hyping me up in the beginning. You know, we got
worst. You know what? It's no worse than what happened last year's Manitoba Open when I was pretty much right behind the pair watching the final match and dropped my drink. And Derek, his head just immediately swiveled. It looked like he was going to kill me. lifted his feet up right away. I'm like, okay, sorry, folks. It happens.
Well, I'm sure he. I mean, I set him up. I screwed him from the beginning here. Let's be honest. I hyped him up in the intro, and I jinxed him for the whole bit.
We're talking all about off camera about how much of a machine he is, and now all of a sudden we're talking about him like he has no mental toughness. What's the right answer?
Second frame. Jeez.
For all we know, he's gonna run like 10 to finish here. Okay.
Absolutely.
Then he pulls out the doubles belt and does the discount double check on it, and
Yeah.
Dallas has given back the 5 miss all of a sudden, so that Dallas's third frame and Daryl's first frame now are even.
Mm-hmm. Dallas looking
with a slight advantage here, keeping the marks going, but that could easily be erased now that Roses look like they might be able to get on a little bit of a run. That's definitely one advantage to hitting the middle more often. You're just 5 millimeters away from going insane. So let's see if that can start here.
Trying to explain that to kids is the hardest thing.
Oh, that's my every Saturday morning. Oh man, how many times have you shot a 140 followed by a 250, and just let them do it a few times, and all of a sudden they understand.
It's not only kids. You could get to a point where you're just punching the lights out and you can't make your adjustment to save your life.
Oh yeah.
I think
There we go.
There we go, Derek.
Yep.
He did
Honestly,
like it.
Really nice frame.
But liked it.
He should really trust his own shot a little more than that. I guess that's after the previous frame. Maybe he just was hoping a little bit more than trusting on that one. I'm sure if that was the 4th strike in a row, he would have walked away with a little more confidence. He knows that goes.
I mean, that frame was huge for the Roses.
Yeah, this is a perfect example, that second and third frame. Every bowler out there should look at that second and third frame and just imagine that that's a game of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
if you're in the middle
for Minto, it's going to be tough if they're going to keep missing the way they are, because there's no subs coming in, right? So it's either you're going to have a rah-rah kind of speech in the back to get people kind of fired up, because if you're going to have a frame like this, it's not going to go over too well, like 2 8 counts, right? Like it's not a good start.
No, I don't know these folks.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know these folks well enough to know to what extent the fact that they know that there's nobody coming off the bench, whether that's going to, I know for me, I like knowing I'm not coming out. That allows me to relax more. But when I was younger, if I knew there was nobody off the bench, that would just cause all kinds of extra tension. And then it'd be really hard to get on a roll after that bad start. So I have no idea what Dallas and Krista are thinking right now.
I agree. Personally, I like you can't be pulled, so figure your crap out perspective. Right.
But again, it's more like I have time to figure it out. So why not relax and just try to throw the shot? I mean, what else am I going to do? Getting tense is not going to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I can't give my coach the look, the get me out of here look. That's not going to matter. So
let's see if Jack as their anchor can put them back in. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
He says, all right, guys, that's how we do it.
That's right. And it's such a nice, relaxed, medium speed release that that's got to feel comfortable to just look up there and see it's so easy, smooth, and just relaxed. Okay, we can do that.
Yep. And then, but on the other side, you've got Parker and Derek, who are just speed demons, right? Nothing wrong with that. But seeing those pins explode just like that is always a good feeling too, right?
But given how relaxed Parker's approach is, I mean, again, it has kind of that really smooth feeling. There's just all this extra sudden power at the end. It's not like he's running around all over the place and you never know what you're going to get from one shot to the next.
I mean,
it's the power of the leg drive is what draws the best type of reaction from your shot, right? You don't want to be over swinging the arm. You want the pace you're coming to the line to be where the power is coming from. As I always kind of say, like when we're doing like the bowling school and that, it's like think of what would happen when you have a ball at the top of a hill, you start the momentum, it gets faster as it goes down, right? That's kind of what you want to be doing to get that explosion at the line.
Yep.
Well, and certainly Toppler's taking advantage of that now. We've gone from who's going to get the first double to doubles in 1, 2, 3. So it's they're certainly making their move right here. It's going to be maybe there's going to be a little bit of extra talking, or it's going to be a very quiet fifth frame break for Minto.
Yep. Also, it's something a lot of people don't take into consideration is height. It's a lot easier to be relaxed and throw, a nice quick ball if you're taller too. You've got that just a longer arm for the pendulum, and as a short guy, I gotta try real hard to throw my ball.
But then I wonder, I never really thought about it because obviously I've never been taller than I am now. Right. Whether it is a little bit like pitchers in baseball where you get taller and it's easier for mechanical failures to creep in because there's just more stuff moving.
Sure.
That being compact has its advantages.
Yeah,
you have to start worrying about more like the arm swing and especially like position at the finish of the shot. It's harder to kind of recreate, a good kind of angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get older, and then it's just harder to bend down as your knees and back start creaking. And
yeah.
So now we see Derek punching and
tangling on a head pin.
He swung it around the left side, but it didn't take any additional pins with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a small difference between that shot and the previous one that he was dead sure was bad news and was just far enough to the right to carry the strike.
Yeah. He walked the head pin off in disgust.
Yeah. And it's really got to feel like those two shots looked, I'm sure those two shots looked exactly the same for the first 30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
You don't see the difference until the ball's almost there.
You know what? Derek walked off as soon as he threw the ball. He knew it before it even bounced off the ground. Yeah, he must have missed his spot just by the slightest bit, or just felt wrong out of the hand. When you've been bowling that long, and man, I don't know. You know what a head pin feels like out of the hand. You're kind of hoping for a break. Don't get me wrong. Like some stupid there's thing or.
Yes, that is the getting down on one knee and hoping,
right?
Yeah.
Some houses, you can still be on the side and it's gonna plow it through. Like it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, you generally have a good feel of how it comes out of your head, if it's going to be good or not.
Yeah.
So as we're getting into the fifth frame now, add 30 to Toppler for the two doubles, the extra 30 pins there. So they're sitting at 418 plus two balls to go here. It's close, but Toppler has a chance to really take a 50, 60 pin lead with these next two frames.
Yeah. That double at the bottom there for Jack on the Maniac side though is also big.
Yeah, he can certainly get 40, 45 of that back right away. But this is
Sean's doing a good job of grinding things out for his team to get them motivated too.
Yeah, the start of that game looks like when you throw a low 300 and you're like, damn, I worked for that.
Oh yeah. Those two 60s where you hit the middle 4 times and you look up and say, "Well, I didn't deserve that," but at least the second shots were good.
Yeah,
Jennifer not able to get the big count on that double. Ooh, bad news right there. So I think I like the chances of going into the break within about 20.
Yeah. If you're gonna throw a 5 spare, do it after a single strike. That's what Sean's.
Yes, although we did just have this discussion yesterday with a couple of the kids, and there's how many times you see them angry when they miss on a double because they want that third strike so bad. And so I asked one of the kids to sit down and figure out what's the highest score you can throw in a game without 3 strikes in a row. I said, you'd probably be surprised it's higher than you think it is. Because 352.
Yeah. I threw
you don't need a triple to shoot 352.
I think I threw a 305 or something like that with only one double in the whole thing. I literally went strike, corner spare, basically the whole thing. And then 9, I threw a strike. 10, I threw the first strike, and I can't remember what I finished with, but we got Cello in for Rich here.
Okay. Not a big surprise, and certainly a chance to take advantage of Lonnie's rough start.
Yeah. Oh, nice
steal a point here.
Cello.
Smooth like always.
Unfortunately,
Well,
Jack
with
on
that
the
punch
side
there,
punch.
now, like I said, we're gonna be within 20 going into the break.
What we got?
Actually, we're all. Actually, it's a little worse than that. We're 5:30 on the left side already.
Yep. Derek,
better shot from Derek.
Power chop.
All right.
Ended up getting the ball out a little bit further on that one than he did in the last frame. Stop it, Derek. Stop it.
There we go. That's all right.
So oddly enough, Toppler has moved into hitting the middle a little less, but getting more strikes more spares when they miss, and Minto is starting to punch. Probably a good time for Minto to take the break.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's just jump into it and get him back bowling.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
We're all back for round 2. Or, well, not round 2, second half.
Second half.
So again, here we are, 5:45 on the left for Toppler, 5:14 for Minto. We have what? an extra ball and a half, 2 balls, I guess, advantage to
Mhm.
toppers. So probably closer to 50 difference going into the second half.
Easy
that-
with the split.
It was a lot of lift with not a lot of spin.
And I think really the first very significant display of dejection or frustration or annoyance from either side.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Other than the lanes breaking for Derek.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's just
He's bringing that on himself.
Yeah.
exactly.
Parker actually throwing into the right pocket that one.
Mhm.
That was
I can
more
say-
like Jennifer's regular release there, nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Roses are liking the commercial break so far. Oh, damn.
Oh, and
slider
there's a
for Joe.
nice break right there. That's yes. I think if the score doesn't change back in Minto's favor, that might be the shot that
was also a hand bump.
that got the momentum going one way or the other. Sean
didn't even
hanging on,
realize.
doing an excellent job. He and Parker both not really getting on a huge roll, but just chugging right along. And how many times have you thrown a nice boring 270 and feel good, right?
Yeah. You throw that 270, you're like, you know what? I didn't screw the day up. So
Right. It
on
didn't.
to the
I didn't
next
feel
one.
like it didn't even work. It's fantastic.
Cello
Yep.
with his first full frame, throwing the 5 spare.
Yes. And now looking to see whether what's going to happen in that 4 spot. That seems like that's going to be maybe the other big swing in this match.
Yeah.
Lonnie's
Derek.
not looking entirely comfortable. I know, given the nature of his backswing and how he does so much of the work in the slide and the downswing that.
Yeah, it's
I
just
guess
a timing issue
Yeah.
right now.
When it's off for a while. I don't know him well enough to know whether he's prone to these kinds of things and they just don't happen very often, or if he normally is the type to quickly get things back on track.
From the amount of time that I bowled with him, like right now, it looks like it's just kind of that little bit extra on the backswing. It's throwing the rest of the shot. That's why he's kind of pulling at the end of the shot and coming across. It's just slightly higher than usual on his backswing.
That's where I'm particularly envious of someone like Jennifer, who just, looks like an instructional video and is so smooth and so regular and consistent. I realized the only way that I could have that is with a time machine. I just needed somebody to maybe push me a little harder, to work harder at it when I was young.
It's also the coaching that you have too, and really kind of the outside the box approach with a lot of the stuff, because a lot of coaches are just based on the fundamentals and they don't really see the individuality of each shot, right? Like that's how you can really know you have a special coach, when they're fine-tuning something that you're not thinking of. It's different.
Dallas with a authoritative, demonstrative shot out there. That was what I think he thought he was going to throw in the previous frame, and it just didn't quite come out of his hand the same way. And all of a sudden,
the game is a lot closer now.
That's yes. Ooh, here we go.
Sean's got a commanding lead over Jennifer, even though they have the same amount of strikes.
Well, I think at this point, if Sean's gonna keep, like, as long as he keeps the run going and staying somewhat close to where Daryl is, right? That's beneficial for the team. Keeps it close.
Yeah. Sean's, displaying how to get 300 the hard way.
Yes. And here we are now with Krista punching on the double. Now we wait for what happens in the 3-hole on the other side. And I think that, again, I don't know how much these bowlers are paying attention to momentum, how much they're telling that story in their head. I think the advantage is going to go to the side that just throws their ball and doesn't worry about when the bad stuff comes. Let's just total it up at the end and see what happens. Tap me on the shoulder when I can't win anymore. Until then, leave me alone. But this is a big shot right here for Daryl. This could be... Oh, easy, good. It's nice to throw a strike that feels good and looks good in that spot and not just get away with one, not get lucky, but to throw a ball that's not perfect, but certainly good enough for that result.
Same thing. Big pull, and it almost hangs at the end of the backswing. So your timing, trying to force it through at the end, isn't going to match up.
And I guess for Lonnie, he's just so sensitive to those tiny changes in the timing at the top of the backswing. He must feel it, but I mean, when it works 95% of the time, you're just not as used to fixing it, I guess.
Especially the backswing, it's kind of one of those things too. Like it's a lot different if you have video of it because you can kind of pinpoint. Oh yeah.
He would benefit a lot from the side by side. Here was a shot in the first. Here's a shot in the sixth, and it's a tiny difference. But just knowing
the
there's a
benefit
difference
if they have the stream kind of up running beside it, because you can at least go back after your frame and you can kind of watch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That little instant replay, basically.
That's a level of technology we're going to have to start working our ways towards here. And then we're going to have to ban internet connections during the matches, so they can only look at video from previous matches.
I've been thinking about how to do instant replay, like have a local recording happening and then just access it and throw it up on the screen.
Well, and the local recording is going to be really important too for more precise record keeping, because then we can use that as the reference and even post that back up at the YouTube when it's ready. And here we go. I think this is going to be the big frame right here. So now
it's 8, 9,
Topper's
10.
sitting at 840. Yeah. And so this is it. This is the move right here.
We missed
these next 3 frames, I think, are going to be the decider.
Yeah. Daryl with the Yahtzee really pulling that total in for the roses here, right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's check in on the individual matches. So what do we have? We have 296 up top for Dallas. And where is... Okay, so Parker just needs to get to 297, which looks pretty good from where he's standing right now.
Yeah, he's 313.
Bottom's getting away now with that one.
Yeah, Jennifer is now ahead. That Sean wasn't able to spare that chop. Daryl's certainly in great shape now. Even 2 opens is enough to win.
Great shot by Marcelo.
Yeah. And that's wow. Okay, so we're looking at, this is 8 watch, folks. We got a shot at 8 here, and it's starting to look more and more likely as these shots come out. If Jack certainly still has a chance to save his point, Lonnie can still get there, but he needs the 5-bagger, at least the first 4. Well, there you go, folks. That is how you throw the 8th frame.
Yeah.
It's pretty fast.
Not
frame.
only
it wasn't a blitz, but still, that's especially you that you need to do it on the other side, on the Maniac side,
and I mean 6 through 8 look beautiful, but there's something special about seeing those 5 strikes in the 8th. Good old recency bias. We care about the stuff that happened moments ago more than anything else, even if it doesn't really matter.
Hopefully Jack can kind of change this a little bit, because 3 headpins in a row for him, and you're looking at
look at that game.
Yeah.
Strike, punch, double, and 3 punches. So he's
due a strike.
5 millimeters away from 260.
I did
So
that
right
on
now we're looking-
Friday.
Yeah.
I think I had 5 head pins in a row, and the last 2 head pins I made adjustments and everything, and just same reach.
Oh, that was how I ended my tournament in Midland, Ontario in 2019. Was head pin, move left, head pin, move left, head pin, move left, and after the 5th one I was out, and that was pretty good because I was practically in the next lane trying to throw balls at the middle.
Yeah. Last week.
Well, Jack has really made it harder.
Yeah. Yeah, last week I started my last game on just Wednesday League with 4 head pins in the first 6 frames and pulled out a nice 270 to
Yeah.
Wow. So the bottom matchup's quite interesting because Jack can bang out for 234 and Derek could double punch in the 10th for 235. So that one is not quite over yet, even though it feels like it. And Dallas has certainly made that a little bit easier.
Ooh,
this is a big
thin.
spare right now for Parker.
Yeah.
Again, Parker just needs to get to 297.
He's
but
watching.
This spare will be big. He doesn't need it, but it would help a lot to have it. Oh, actually, he does need it to shut him out.
Yeah, one by Sean Hertz.
Oof.
Good. Beautiful ball by
Dead
Parker.
center.
Yeah.
All right, so Parker's sitting at 283, Dallas at 296 max finishes. So that's going to be right down to the wire. Dallas's first ball in the 10th is going to decide that match. And again, if Jen punches, she's at 225 and 9. So this might be over or it might be even. Let's find out.
See if Krista can stop the head pin train here.
I would say that's over.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, even punch now and she's still at 270. That's going to leave Sean an awful lot of work to do. So it's not over yet. Keep going. Triple for Sean and a punch for Jen in 10, and it's close.
And individual matches are only but a part of the battle, right? That team score is huge.
Totals already.
Totals win these. Point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that total is decided by now. We're already 200 pins difference halfway through the 9th. So I think the best Minto can hope for is to steal 1, 2, and 5.
Yeah.
They've got a decent shot at 2 out of those 3, which after that tough second half, to walk away with 3 would make you feel great. 2 will just stop you from crying.
You know what? And Marcello coming off the bench, right? With the 5 spare strike here.
Yeah, and it was his pair in the 5th, wasn't it?
He went
in the 5th, second ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's in his mind, that first ball is a strike.
That's fair. Yeah. Yep. So he's basically on a 4-bagger from coming in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, on the other side, Lonnie with a bunch of head pins in the second.
Oh wow!
Starting.
Yeah.
So I think that's sealed.
But and then again, it goes back to the not having a bench player, right? Because you have 3 spots where you could pull at any point here, right? Just because of what's happening out there, and it could be a different game.
Now this is very interesting. Again, Jack still has 234 sitting out there. This is, the chances are not none. They're still just slim.
Great spare by Derek.
Yeah.
Makes it hard.
So what are we really looking at
impossible.
there? Punch for 220. Punch on the left side for 225. Jack can still finish, so you just never know. This is the big ball here for Dallas. Just get this one out like all the rest.
Oh, thunderstruck.
That's beautiful. That really is. I mean, that follow through, it looks stiff, but it is way out there.
Thought you were gonna do a stiff upper lip and keep doing ACDC references.
Well, how about this now? Parker can get to 266. Dallas still has 2. Oh, no. And that's that.
Yep.
No, 271.
No,
coming.
yeah. He's already that was a
Wow,
massive
that's the
count.
ball game. That was enough. He's at 266 right now.
There's
No,
the
sorry, 261.
spare.
So there's 266. Oh, wow.
Wait, can we?
Interesting. We
strike
got
the
a tie coming. Yep,
Yeah,
we got a tie coming
strike
right
the
here. Love it. Did not see that coming. That was the one path I didn't compute. Wow. That is
Oh
a
my.
steal right there. Beautiful, beautiful. Good for the fans. Not great for the top of roses, but good for the fans to see that. Never give up, kids.
Yep. Dallas on the other side throwing the 4-bagger there to really catch up and close that gap and actually wins the game.
Oh,
Well, that's
just squeak that one out.
Needed that one.
Well, Jack came in off the bench midway last year and essentially did that to steal a point. It's nice to see a teammate do the same thing this year.
Oh no.
That's a fantastic finish. And like I said, punch for Jennifer in 10 and Sean needs 40.
Yep.
Right? She's got 270-ish.
Oh no, it's a 3.
Oh, that is a huge miss on both sides.
That's
So what are we looking at here?
game, right?
260, 259 on the left side. 259 on the left side, 249 on the right side. 249 on the right side. So get the 10 and hope for a miss.
Okay.
Oh, that could be right big there. Pop out the 2-pin for a tie? No, that's enough.
Just needed a 3.
Wow. Well, we did say maybe 2 out of those 3 matches. So if Jack can finish out and Derek punches in 10, that could be 2 for Minto. That's not too bad.
Oof. Bounce in front of the pin.
And that is perhaps, again, one of the nice things, saving graces, let's say, of not having anyone on the bench is that even when your match is done now, you can just shut that off completely and just get yourself ready for the next time you're up. Just get yourself ready for the next match. Try to figure something out. You can treat it like a qualifying shift where you're not going to make the cut, but you got a chance to figure something out for the afternoon.
Yeah. A little bit of a mind reset.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with a bad frame anyway during the game. The quicker you forget about it, the better off you're going to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, after 2 close ones at the top, 313 to 28 in the third spot. Let's see if Lonnie can get a little bit of a rhythm going here. Feel a little better about how things went. No. It's so hard to tell. It's very easy to think that if he misses, he must have overthrown it. But it's so hard to tell the difference, especially from this distance.
Yeah.
Even that one was thick on the middle. Probably would have been a chop if it was the first ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just saved it because he came outside his line a little bit.
All right. Well, it's simple. Derek leaves himself something he can spare. Then that seals it.
Okay, let me get these points.
And that, Jack did the work anyway. Well, it couldn't be more definitive than that. 7-1 the final?
Yep.
Wow.
I'll just get it in there.
And that really is 5-player, 5-pin bowling. That it feels like you think, oh, well, maybe we'll get 3. Oh, now maybe we'll get 2. Oh, it was just 1. And it really happens within the space of 4 minutes in the 10th frame. That so many of these matches really do come down to the 10th.
Mm-hmm. Well, 1325 to 1107, 7-1.
Yep.
Let me switch back to, let's just do us. Go like this so it doesn't go straight to my face. Nobody needs to see zoomed in version of me, all right?
Well, for a match that seemed like a runaway starting after the break, it was nice to have the top two matches really come down to the last shots. That could easily have been a runaway for Toppler. Once they got going, that 6, 7, and 8, that was all the distance they needed.
Yeah, and like I said, it's that might have been a little bit different, at least maybe I know it might be just 1 point, but 1 point's a big deal. If they had a sub, then they could have made a sub in that game.
Yes. I guess that is one thing we don't know, whether whether that not having the sub helped them relax or not having the sub really made them feel like I gotta go, and just tension.
Just maybe a little bit, a little bit too much pressure.
Why don't we pull him in here and find out?
Yes, let's ask.
Hello. Stacy's like, it's about time. All right.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, but
we were busy having a pleasant conversation among the three of us, right?
I was watching.
All right, so Tracy, I mean, it is what it is, right? It had a really hot start there, and then all of a sudden, no subs really put, I think, a lot of pressure on some certain individuals.
Yeah, it was tough. The bottom three just all ran into the same problem at the same time, and not having a sub can work for you. Everyone knows they got to go, but it can also be tough, right? You got a little extra pressure on yourselves, and just ran into a little bit of trouble. The top two matches were exciting, which was good to see, but yeah, wasn't our day. Thankfully, only one match for us today, so we can come back next time and things will be different.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't want to single anyone out, but what was your sense of how the group felt about the fact, knowing that they were, Toppler was starting to pull away 6, 7, and 8, and that there was no help to be had? Did they seem like they were tensing up a bit? Were they relaxed, knowing that there was nothing they could do about it? How did it seem to you?
I mean, we were kind of joking, like, Lonnie, you're out, Lonnie, you're in, kind of thing, like pretending to see each other. But I mean, yeah, we all know how bowling goes, right? It's your day sometimes, and it's not your day sometimes. So that's we all stuck together, cheered each other on as best as we could, and it's one of those matches.
Well, we were at the edge of our seats with those first two matches, so it was nice to at least have it, even if it felt like a runaway, at least there was plenty of excitement right at the end.
Yeah, but fighting for every point, every point matters, and we all know that in bowling, right? It feels so much better when you don't get swept, right? I mean, 7-1 feels much better than 8 now.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly, but it does.
Parker with the opportunity for 7.5 to half, but the punch in the last ball there. I mean, it happens, right? Two decent games there, so.
I lost by 3.
But 7-1. Obviously, Toppler's gonna be happy with that, right?
Yeah, it's a good start. I mean, we all make fun of Parker, so.
I wasn't going to say anything because
we can't go the whole season without Parker not getting a point, averaging 290.
Well, I knew those
Man, that's unlucky.
We bug him for it, but good sport.
Yeah. So,
no, and Marcelo came in and did a great job when he had to. So that was probably a huge boost to the team there as well.
Yeah. I think Charles, I'm his mom, right? So, if I don't bowl good, mom's kicking me out. No.
Oh, geez. All right.
Yeah, having a sub just changes that momentum a little bit, right? That's the big difference.
Yeah,
well, and even if you end up not needing those points, the security of having that really makes a big difference in how it feels.
Yeah, it just makes a change in the game. You can tell, where you were going to make pulls if you had the opportunity. And like you said, sometimes it works for you and people are just relaxed and they're going and you figure it out a whole lot faster, I think, too. If you don't have a pull, you're not pushing as hard. But, it is, it's that time of year where everybody's schedule is crazy and we're going to run into those days for sure. All teams will, right? So
you betcha.
Yeah.
And what was that substitution like? Was that more of I just need to change something to get things going, or was that really he's having a rough time, let's give him a rest?
Oh, well, it's Rich. And so Rich's mentality in this game is kind of funny, how he thinks about missing the middle, which is not funny for the rest of us. So it was, if we can just get him out of there in that situation, we do it. It's a team effort here, guys.
Yeah. Well, let's Toppler with a bit of a break there. Minto, that was the only game to start off the day. I'm gonna run this next commercial break and we'll get the next one going.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
take
Good
care,
luck on your
folks.
next match.
Thank you.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
Back here. I have to point it out. I'm watching them warm up on the other side, and Brad Glynn just threw from behind him through his legs and threw a strike. So
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah. I forgot to shout out the merch shop. A little screen here, bradsongroup.com/5PL merch. Speaking of the merch shop, we got a jersey. JB's wearing a jersey. I wonder who he's supporting, right?
I was really worried that the green was going to clash with the green screen, and I guess the shade's just different enough. Yes, that's a dynamite-looking hat right there.
I unfortunately, I'd probably get in trouble for wearing a dynamite hat, but it's okay. I had it first.
Oh, jeez. All right, you know what? Another 1,300 for the Top of Roses. Can't say I'm surprised. But I think this next one, honestly, is going to be really interesting. Mayhem coming in off a rough start, but we know they can throw. And Rock and Rollers are doing A-okay, so I'm expecting a real good match on the next one here.
Yeah, this is especially interesting for me because obviously, my involvement with the Rock and Rollers this year and last year. St. John's is kind of my spiritual bowling home right now. But my wife grew up in Oshawa. Her family, she still has siblings whose families live there. We're there an awful lot. So Oshawa feels a little bit like a second home as well. So I'm a little bit conflicted here. It's like I can't lose.
You really should be wearing like a Mayhem hat with the Rock and Rollers jersey.
I don't know if I can bring myself to do that, though. John might have to force one on me. I don't know. John, where's my hat?
Yeah. Let's run that little clip and we'll get started on this next one. All right, here we are.
Hey guys, JB will work on the hat for you.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Steve.
Hey, you can hook me up too, Steve.
And for the record, we're not going to celebrate Brad Glenn here. So
that's right. Well,
I'm just
okay,
sitting there
Shane.
watching you guys practice, and I was like, oh wow, what a shot!
It's my job to do that for you here, so you don't have to.
perfect, because it's not going to happen.
There you go.
Well, it's nice to see Steve on the other side of this conversation, eh?
Yeah.
Usually I'm doing the commentary with you.
Yeah, it's a little different on this side. I've seen a lot of our division this year, and I've seen probably just about all of Shane's matches firsthand. So I know what they've been going through, and I know what we're up against.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that gives you any kind of an advantage, or does that even make a difference at all? That I mean, even if you know what's coming, you might not be able to do anything about it.
I don't think so at this level and the scores that all the teams are posting. It's you got to bring it every week, or you're going to get left behind.
So no notebook with all the notes from the other matches you watched.
I didn't say that.
It'd be a lot more valuable if there were any defense in this game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's really the best you can do in this game is just throw as well as you can, and hope the other individual doesn't throw as well as you did.
Yep, and especially in not even being beside each other, there's no advantage or disadvantage, or it's go out and give her and put up a good number and hope for the best.
What you're saying is you can't trip Shane. Got it.
You could try.
I'm not sure I could do that if we were in person.
Yeah. And
if I can't, very few others would have a chance.
Yeah. So, Shane, you guys are sitting pretty good, coming to the end of your season, but every point you can rack up right now is huge, because it's gonna, assuming you keep up the pace, you'll be in the playoffs for sure. So seeding is what you're looking for. So
Yeah, I mean, we had most of our season early, as you know, so I'd much rather be in a position where we got points on the board and people are chasing us versus having to score late. So we put ourselves in pretty good shape. I think if we win 2 out of the last 3, we're in 1 out of the last 3. We're probably pushing it. So that's kind of our goal, is to find a couple of wins here late in the season and finish strong.
Yeah. And
so, do you think it feels better to sort of have it out of your hands and not worry about what happens coming down the stretch? Or if you fall from 5th to 6th, are you all going to be kicking yourself at the last minute?
I mean, I think we all would rather have the score on the board, and it is what it is at that point. How many times have we seen someone need a 220 in his last game to qualify, and a 260 bowler don't get that 220 because it's in their head? So, we're just going to put the points on the board and let the other teams do what they need to do.
Thanks for that, Shane. I needed to remember that.
I said 220, JB. I didn't put
not 138.
Right.
Yeah. And Steve, on the other side, you're looking to start this. I think, trying to pretend that this is the start of the season. Ignoring that first week and just getting to it.
Yeah, exactly. The first week we didn't play that bad. We had 2 medium 1200s, but only 3 points. 2 really good games thrown against us. That's what's going to happen in this league. For us, completely opposite of last year. Last year we got off to a great start and people were chasing us. This year we're hoping to do what Shane's team did. Actually, they got off to a little bit of a slow start. They went on a good run this year, and that's what we're going to have to do.
Okay. Well, are you guys ready? Oh wait, I'm sorry. We'll get lineups. Yeah.
We need some lineups first.
All right.
Whether you
I know
guys are
they're
ready or
posting in
not,
the
we're
chat.
not.
Yeah. Yep. So we're going Matt Houston, John Cowan, Linda McLean, Jeff England, Ian McLean, Davin and Cooper on the bench. Connie is unavailable today.
Okay. And Shane on your side.
Yeah, we're going to go to the same lineup we had our last game, which we did pretty well in. Tibbs, myself, Katie, Smitty, and then Brad. And we'll have Mitchell and Courtney on our bench.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're gonna jump into it and get you guys bowling.
Bring the power.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good luck, Shane.
So I've got the Motor City Mayhem here. Kyle, do you want to do the Mayhem?
Yeah, Mayhem. You got John Cowan, Matt Houston, Nathan Cooper, Davin Florent, Jeff England, Ian McLean, Linda McLean, and Connie Ward, and Steve Barker bowling out of Nebs.
Perfect. And I know who wants to do this one.
Yes, representing Plaza Bowl in lovely downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, we have Shane Chafe, Brandon Tibbs, Brad Glynn, Brandon Smith, Mitchell Williams, Courtney Lucas, and Katie Wells. Brad will hate me saying this, but capably managed by Shane Chafe.
Whew. Let's just jump into this game. So I've got to Rock and Rollers are having a new scoring system put in. So
Yes.
They don't have their totals. So I'll be running the totals.
Okay.
It's a little bit
Yes,
blurry,
for
but
those who
should be able to see it.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Plaza had the old Brunswick system for the longest time, and they've just installed Steltronic. Some of you might recognize it. And I believe the left half of the house is done and the right half is yet to be done. And so we're getting what we're getting today. So we get to do some mental arithmetic. We'll see how it goes.
That's fine.
Well, they did put a team name in because they got the scoring working up top in the corner, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I remember doing the Avalanche game when they played at Polo Park, and I had to phone the bowling alley and get Cam to put a team name in there to get the score on the top.
And Mayhem are doing a direct feed, actually, so it's looking beautiful on their end.
Yes.
Well, we knew that the Nebs one was going to have something special because Jeff always wows us with his technical knowledge.
John, with his usual start, a nice quick one, and then immediately looks to his finger to see if it's still attached.
Shane with the good swear. Good half.
Yeah, Shane playing second for the Rock and Rollers is an interesting one too. Like, I know Brad at anchor is still good, but I'm just so used to seeing Shane play the bottom of the lineup.
Right, and I don't know what they've done this year, but certainly last year Shane bowled a lot of second and third, and I think this lineup that I see here is the one that I remember seeing a lot of last year, with Tibbs 1 and Smith 4th, and then Shane 2 or 3 and Brad bowling 5th. Katie, Courtney, Mitchell all seem to sort of just take the 2 or 3 spot. And I think that's probably how Shane works. It is he just puts himself in second or third, depending on who else is in and what they're more comfortable. I know Katie bowled a lot of 3 last year. Courtney bowled a lot of 3 last year. And I think Mitchell might've bowled a little bit more second often.
Yeah. Like seeing Brandon play, well, both Brandons actually. Like, I'm used to seeing Tibbs up top and then Smith usually, 3-4. So that's not out of it. But like, that's what I mean. You have player like Brad on your team, and even Mitch on the team. Like, you could plug and play anywhere on that lineup.
Yeah, there really are no strong choices. I don't think there's lots of strong preferences individually regarding sort of where they bowl, except that Brad wants to be the one that on whose shoulders everyone jumps, and most everyone except Shane is happy to jump on his shoulders. Shane will do it. He just doesn't like it.
He pretends. He loves it.
I figured we would just keep up the charade for his sake, but we know that Shane and Brad love each other more than maybe any other two people who are not actually blood relatives of each other in this game. It's so fun to watch them bicker. They're like an old married couple. It's absolutely a joy to watch.
I can't say anything bad about those two. Those two are they're good friends. So,
and so here we are again with a bit of a choppy start. 2 punches for St. John's, 2 punches for Durham. So we'll see where we end up. Nothing to conclude until at least the 3rd frame. And nothing really stands out. It just sort of looks like a pretty normal everyday start.
Yeah. I mean, what, 2 spares and a strike on each side? A 3-point lead for Mayhem. Yeah. It really, those first couple of frames, they don't really matter until you start racking up the points on the existing marks, right? Like Matt here, throwing the 15, the extra 15 on that spare. All of a sudden, that's, did it not count Brandon's first ball?
Possibly not. So we'll keep an eye on that. Over on the right side, we should have a spare. Yeah, so we'll correct that.
5 spare.
Shane's in there to take care of that.
Yeah.
I know that for some odd reason, Brunswick Frameworks has this odd little bug that the very first ball of a bowling session, sometimes the scoring system will count it, and then the pin setter will just reset the pins, and we don't know why, and it's always the first ball.
Oh, yeah.
So these, some of these computerized systems, especially when the pin setters and the scoring systems have been installed independently, there are little quirks you have to deal with, and you just kind of get to know them and deal with them as you go.
Yeah, I know Steltronic on a couple of the last, the last couple centers that got it installed had some issues with reading ball speed. So basically, if you throw it a little bit too hard, it kind of misses. Like, it's weird because you think it'd be a pin sensor, it wouldn't be a speed thing on the ball on why it wouldn't read the ball. But because I know at Polo there was some issues with reading 2 pins when you pick them.
Interesting.
Yeah, we actually
Linda with punch in 1 and punch on the second ball in 2, so she's maybe a little too much on the middle. We'll see how that progresses.
We have something similar at Heritage too that'll happen where I think you start hitting that 60 kilometer an hour mark and it'll just miss. It just won't count that shot. Yeah.
It's interesting to learn little bits and pieces about how these systems work, whether they're based on how far the string is pulled to let you know whether the pin was actually knocked over or not, or the old camera systems where it would just try to detect which pins are still standing with a camera mounted just on the other side of the masking unit. There's all kinds of interesting technology choices that are, I guess, the result of 40 years of everybody doing whatever they want. Katie with a good start here, and that's she starts getting on a roll, and it's just a little bit ridiculous how consistent she is, even with all that movement. You worry that sometimes bowlers with that much movement on their shot are going to struggle, and she really is surprisingly consistent for somebody who relies on that much movement on the ball.
I still think Katie's reaction to her last ball on her perfect game was one of the best ones, because she thought it was gonna miss. That was great.
And so I know that once you essentially get east of Gatineau, almost nobody conditions their lanes. That's something that's changing here. My home center here in Summerside, PEI, has just started conditioning their lanes again, and they might be the only lanes with these, and in North Rustico, I think, might be the only lanes east of Gatineau with any lane conditioner on them at all. Everybody else is accustomed to super dry lanes, and so that movement is, they come to get accustomed to seeing that huge arc on the ball. And Katie's one who definitely comes from the side and tries to use that big movement to have the ball go pretty much straight into the pocket. I don't know how often she gets to bowl on lanes that are conditioned and how often she has to adjust to that ball going straighter than she's used to.
Yeah, especially and then at the slightly slower ball speeds too, right? All of a sudden your ball just it has room, it has time to grip, right? And
I'd forgot how much faster the ball feels, just how much ball speed, how much friction there is on the lane, and how much the ball actually slows down the way to the pins. And then you suddenly throw the ball on a wet lane for the first time in a long time, and it feels like you're throwing 20% harder than you used to.
Just takes off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rock and Roller's out to a great start here. You know, those first two matches looking really competitive. John with the turkey on his side, but Brad Glynn there at the bottom with the double two.
Yes, so we're
separating himself from Ian.
Yes, we have the hot start. Oh, there's Linda with now she's found the side, so that could be an interesting inflection point in that third match. Now, which one of them gets on the side more consistently? And here we go.
Yeah, they just swapped frames there, basically.
Yeah. Brandon Smith's an interesting case. For those of you who don't really know him, he, until a relatively recent Open, he threw with about 45 feet of loft. Not an exaggeration to say that if you go back 5 years and see video of Brandon Smith bowling, he would throw the ball 35 to 45 feet down the lane, coming way up the left side. And then he finally bowled in the tournament, I forget which one, where they had wood lanes and lane shields. And he all of a sudden had to throw the ball. He had to release the ball out in front of the arrows. And now it seems like he's kept it, and it's working well for him. He hasn't gone back to his old way of throwing the ball. The first time I saw him bowl, I was genuinely surprised that nobody was kicking him out. I'm like, who's this guy? But it works. And especially now that Plaza has switched to synthetic lanes in the last 18 months, this is now one more place where he's not as likely to get kicked out of.
I just want to point out we have a hot start here for both teams.
This is it's almost boring how good it is. I'm just now getting into the habit of just watching. And as soon as I say that, John, of course, it has to be John. Has to be John. But just
and then it's the addition too. Like, and you think of the Mayhem last year, like with Ryan, Ryan's a great bowler, but you replace Ryan with Matt Houston. That's huge in my opinion. Like, Matt's one of those guys that doesn't miss the middle very often.
No.
It's kind of like the Southern Ontario version of Greg DeGrazia, right? He's hitting the middle. It's just how thick is it going to be?
And they don't seem to lose much in terms of calm demeanor with the move from Ryan to Matt. He's, if you didn't know him and you'd look at him, you'd think, oh, this is a super aggressive kind of guy, but he's smooth and gentle out there, and it's it's really fun to bowl alongside him.
Unfortunately, another head pin. So they're the head pin.
This third game is going to be very, very interesting. We'll see who can manage to get on the side of the head pin. So for Linda, that's really 3 punches, because the second ball in frame 2 was a punch after the miss. And Katie now has found the right side, which seems to be her preferred side. So it's just a question of who's going to put the doubles together.
Well, and for the Mayhem, Connie wasn't available for a sub too, right? So
So we have Davin and Nathan both available.
Yeah, so Linda has to play regardless.
Yeah.
Oh, great ball by
nice
Jeff.
Shot by Jeff.
Also a great ball on the other side for Smith. Oh my. If you could send the pins everywhere and not hit anything, that's what it looks like.
Absolutely.
I was more mesmerized by that pin that just stayed in the three spots
on the left
in
side.
Circles.
Yeah. I was like
kind of wizardry is this?
The string got caught on the corner of the lane on the left side, and it
was like Inception with the top going at the end. Just kept going.
And yet another time the sensor failed to detect the thrown ball. So
that's actually, I think, the third or fourth time.
Oh, really? I haven't noticed.
Screwed up
too
on
much
Shane's
heat.
Fourth frame.
Too many good shots.
Those boys throw with too much heat.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just a new system.
Yeah. It'll take just time to iron out some of the issues, but
it's amazing how untechnical the issues can be. If that makes sense.
It's always
Like,
mechanical. Whenever computer systems and mechanical devices are involved together, it's always the mechanical devices the problem. It's never the software.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. You crashed your car? It's because the brakes aren't mechanical anymore.
Yeah. So a difference of 474 to 469 on the board after 4, just before that strike from Tibbs. So Matt now can keep pace, and unfortunately he does not, and that's going to be a little bit of a swing here, perhaps coming into the break.
Shane, really?
We know that the St. John's folks are, they're big believers in momentum and in riding the emotional high, and so I think of all the groups in this division, they're probably the one who is the most likely to be interested in feeling hot going into the break and feeling hot coming out of the break, whereas some of the other groups can be a little bit more workmanlike and a little bit more cold, professional, ho-hum, everything's fine. John will just keep throwing balls like nothing's happening.
And I feel like I'm being flashbanged on Rock and Roller side for the score screen.
Yes, a little struggle now with the...
It's just blown out.
Scoreboard. Oh, wow.
You can see on the right side, it's still there. There.
Interesting.
Yeah. I refreshed it thinking maybe it was stuck, but...
No.
Ooh, we had a miscount on John's side there.
Yes, apparently that head pin doesn't...
Yeah, no, it definitely went, right? So
yeah, that head pin doesn't believe it was knocked down.
Yep.
So Jeff will make a note. Now Jeff will make a note, and we'll he'll be trying to scramble to make some kind of a either that or that's a reminder of something on his to-do list that he struggles to get to. Which, when your to-do list is as long as his, you can understand. Lyndon now with a key shot here.
I can still see it if I turn the score screen off and use the other camera. I can actually see.
Oh, yet another punt. That's 4 times she has punched, aiming for the middle. So now she's aimed for the middle 6 times. She's missed once, punched 4 times, and struck once. And
it's gonna be interesting to see if she's gonna go work on some stuff during the commercial break here, knowing that she has to stay in for the game, right?
Well, and this is maybe one advantage where having one advantage of having the actual break, because I mean it's 5 millimeters, right? It's a slight difference in when you breathe. It's a slight difference in a twitch in one muscle. You sometimes just not bowling for 4 minutes is enough to solve the problem, and that you don't actually need to consciously change anything. You just need to walk away and come back 30 seconds later or 2 minutes later, and boom, she can go off the sheet and steal this point.
Looks like they're playing with everything on the Rock and Roller side to get
the screen
to come back.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go. We're back up and running. There we go. So Katie Wells really has the opportunity here to run away with it. Even just a mark, it doesn't have to be a strike. Will
indeed
create a lot of separation.
Another great shot by Jeff.
Yeah.
Great bowler. Great score system, programmer, designer, however you want to describe that. Oh.
And there we go. That's really the one way that Katie gets into trouble is with that right pocket. She will not fail to push those left corners every so often, but generally speaking, she's deadly on those corners, so it doesn't bother her one bit.
Yeah, that really sets her up for to take that and sustain that lead, right?
Also, Ian really seems to be back on his rhythm after that first couple.
Yeah, and even he's certainly kept it well enough together to put himself in a good position to have a just a slightly stronger second half and give Brad something to shoot at.
Yep. We get the total
so
here.
I know it's hard. I know you can't read it right now, but that gives Brad now, I believe, 125 through 4 and a strike. So that's a difference of only 22 at the bottom. And going by memory, I think the Mayhem have really only got about a 2-ball lead at this point. And in fact, it might be 0-ball lead because of that top match.
Nothing wrong
I'd
with
say
this
we're
start
even
for both teams.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This is pretty dead even going into the commercial break.
See if they can keep it up after.
Yep.
Now.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
We are back for the second half.
Yes, welcome back, folks.
See if the hot start continues.
Right. I mean, sitting at over 600 after the fifth frame, you're really setting yourself up for something decent, and both teams have done that.
And it really is pretty much dead even at this point. One ball in either direction. Obviously, Tibbs has a chance to extend the lead, but Jeff can easily keep things going and pretty much even that out. So maybe we'll get something similar to the previous match where someone starts to take off in 6, 7, and 8, and that's the difference in the match.
Big
Someone
shot
like
by Brandon.
Tibbs.
Yeah.
Brandon really can get on a roll, and it's amazing to see him. It's not 3 with him. It's 4 and 5 all the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that, and you think of how tall Brandon is too, and he's got a very, very smooth shot.
Yeah. And again, another one with that big backup and actually relies on a fair bit of break, and yet it doesn't bug him.
Mm.
He's remarkably consistent again for somebody who throws that much break.
Speaking of 4 or 5 in a row, that was a ham bone for Brandon.
Yes.
Oh, Rock and Roller's loving this commercial break.
Absolutely.
Yep.
like I said, they are they they wear their hearts in their sleeve, and the emotional swings are usually one way or the other for them. And it looks like today they got the beneficial version instead of the difficult one. And there is a nice shot from Linda. Nice to see her get back on the side of the head pin. So that's now 7 shots at the middle, and she's managed to hit the side of it twice. Yeah, that's Brad right there.
Yeah.
Now, if he's doing that in the 6th, then you know that you're in trouble, and that's a very difficult thing to see. It's just as well for the Motor City Mayhem that they do not have Brad on the lane next to them. There's no need to see that. Now, I don't know. I mean, are these folks the type who would be maybe would feel like they got a fire lit under them, seeing all of a sudden the folks on the next lane getting all animated, or would that tense them up? I don't know.
They're all professionals. They would be fine, I would assume.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had the score screen off on the Rock and Roller side. That's my fault. I apologize. I turned it off when they were having the super bright screen, because we could actually still see the other version of it, but forgot to turn it back on when it was fixed. So
Jeff almost had that one fall. Got a little bit of a roast on that one. He got a good
wobbling.
pin hit on it, but didn't want to take it.
Good half though.
All right. So yeah, 1 missed spare from Linda. That's unfortunate. Right now, Motor City can't afford to give too much more away, especially if Rock and Rollers can keep this little run of theirs going. It's all the momentum. Well, not necessarily momentum, because that doesn't really exist, but the advantage of the bonus balls definitely goes to the right side of the screen.
Yeah.
And so now it's just a question of whether Motor City can get back on a little bit of a roll of their own.
There's still lots of game left, but that gap is definitely a thing. There's a lot of balls to count.
Rock and Rollers are counting 3 doubles, so that's it's so easy to run away.
Yeah,
it's so easy to run away when you're counting 3 doubles to 1.
Oh, Matt, he's
a better shot from Matt. Yeah, that was out of the hand. He knew that was good.
Oh, even with a little off balance, he has it.
Yep. He let go of the ball before he fell over.
Yeah. And that sort of seems like that's emblematic. I see that a lot out east, where it's a lot of very loose style, not a lot of textbook looking bowlers. There's a whole lot of chuck it and hope. And, there was a part of me that was always annoyed by hearing that, because that doesn't help me as someone trying to get to the next level. That doesn't give me any useful information about what to do differently. But I'm starting to understand the wisdom of that way of thinking, that they just lean into it and say, well, my body knows what to do. I'm going to throw the ball near the middle and see what happens. And I've really felt like in the last year, I see that differently than I did a year ago.
Well, it's starting to build the muscle memory in the shot, right? So it's one less thing that you're thinking about. You're just, trusting it. The trust and thrust method. There you go.
I feel like once you get to that stage, sometimes overthinking it can be just as detrimental, right? You start, I really need to place this ball. You start losing rotation on your ball, because you're doing something that isn't normal, because what's normal isn't working. Or sometimes you just
and that's the thing about, like, especially with hitting the middle. Hitting the middle is the most important part of the game, regardless of what you're doing. And that was the one thing I remember growing up, having Norm Shannis tell me, like, because I used to get really flustered when I was punching head pins, because I used to throw the ball out there like excessively far, not like what I do now.
Yep.
But like, you can't be mad with it. You have to hit the score. You have to hit the score, right. Kyle. Okay.
And that's the funny thing, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Not off my. Oh no, I was just saying. It's a game of like millimeters. Like, it's not even like anything huge.
Oh, that's a beautiful finish from Katie right there. That's power, as John McDonald would say. That's power and rotation right there, on display from Katie Wells. Yeah, it's funny. hitting the middle is the thing that you focus on when you're first starting. Hitting the middle is the only thing you need to do once you hit the elite level. And it's the getting lost in the middle where a lot of people never make it to that top level, where they get, like me, bogged down in trying to do too many things too well. And it's been quite an interesting experience for me to get back down to just simplify and not even hit the middle. It's just now throw it at your target and walk away. There's nothing more you can do.
Yeah, like and that's the key to bowling is, like the biggest thing and especially like when you're coaching like kids and stuff, you need to start with a point where you feel comfortable, right? Like it doesn't have to look good. It's not a fashion show about your thing. Like you see a lot of people that want to try to emulate other players because they like the way their shot looks. Well, that might not be comfortable for you. So you want to just find something that you're comfortable with that you can work on. And like everything will fall into place at that point.
Another beautiful shot from Brad right there, putting the memory of that missed chop spare way in the rear view. And looks like Rock and Roll are the ones who are taking frames 6 through 8 and just running away with it. Now they've got a lead in the neighborhood of 125. Motor City, though, counting 2 doubles, so there's plenty of room for them to close the gap.
That looked a little on the head, but it broke.
That's kind of the better than expected hit.
Yeah,
that's
I'll take it.
That's a head pin for Mere Mortals and a corner pin for Brandon Tips. Oh
my gosh! I was going to be like, and that gets an ace. Oh.
And again, that's a beautiful shot. There's a whole bunch of people who are thinking that was aces, I'm screwed, and missed the corner. And the best bowlers are the ones who are like, I just got a free spare.
Yeah.
And there it is.
You go. Free spare. Take it.
Yeah, don't let karma bite you in the butt when you get something like that. Get your spare.
I got a gift. Let's take it. And, I tell the kids, every time you knock down 4 pins, you're happy with that result. 5 is better. 4 is pretty good. And really, it almost doesn't matter which 4. John and Shane have traded punches here.
John got lucky that Shane followed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was Shane's chance to jump back into the game.
And certainly
quite
that
a number of balls
hurt John more than it hurt Shane.
True.
Well, especially for team total on that one. Yeah. Like anytime you count a double and you, even on the second shot, punching instead of taking the nickel.
Yeah. But
So
John is one. John doesn't seem like he is, but John is one of the masters of just looking you right in the eyes and saying, it's fine. I've never seen a guy who looks as hot-headed as he does, who is as level-headed as he is.
Yeah. I get a lot of that, it's fine mentality, but I wouldn't say I look hot-headed, though. I'm pretty chill most of the time.
Yeah.
You'll probably see me call myself an idiot before I end up raging out with anything on the lane.
I roll my eyes a lot at myself. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful shot from Brandon Smith right there.
Yeah, great half on the other side by Linda.
Brad is looking at those strikes thinking, okay, this is even easier for me. This shot's never been easier.
Please, he's got a chance to donkey Shane. He better take it. Oh, yeah.
Shane, what's the problem? Shane, what's the problem, boy?
Oh, wait, let me do some math here.
So, Linda again. Now she's thrown at the middle 9 times, and she has. Now 10 times. She's missed twice and punched 5. So it's just been a rough time for her. She's not bowling poorly. I think she's thrown away 120 pins by being off by a grand total of about 4 centimeters on 10 shots. I mean, what can you do?
Yep.
You just keep going and hope that, breathe through your eyelids. I don't think moving a quarter of a board is going to make a difference. I don't think moving up, moving back is going to make a difference. Just breathe once more
for the Mayhem and Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is to really keep them in it. That is devastating. We're pretty much where we were in the previous match, where even after 5 and one side extends it to nearly a 200. Well, actually, at this point, over a 200 pin lead after 8. 6 through 8 might be the magic frames today for the rest of these matches. And now it's just a question of winning the one game. How many of these individual matches are we looking at now?
Commercial breaks being a killer on this.
For one team,
you have to wonder: is that the shot in the arm the Rock and Rollers needed, or did that lull the Mayhem to sleep? Well, we'll have to ask.
I mean, the Rock and Rollers came out of a commercial break with a 5-bagger, right? So
yeah,
they were
6
okay.
6 in a row and 8 out of 10. You can't argue with that. And actually, very similar. The only difference is that their 5 in a row was in the 6th instead of the 8th, but very similar feeling to the previous match.
Yeah, with it was the Roses, right?
Yeah. Toppler came out with 3 strikes in 6, 3 strikes in 7, and 5 strikes in 8.
That's always a good feeling.
Well, that top match is done. If not literally, then almost certainly. We got Matt can get to 288. Brandon's already at 285 plus 2 balls, so he's in good shape there. Just needs to finish it. John is looking pretty good in the second hole to hold on and take that point from Shane until that shot, but he still has 291, so Shane is still going to have to do some work to be sure. Katie is just pushing the finishing touches on this match, and really the big difference, as I said, it's 5 centimeters in 11 shots, and Katie had the right spots and Linda didn't, and that's all.
Well, it's the spare thing coming up again, right? You know, having that spot and putting Connie in maybe in the 5th frame there might have made a difference.
Absolutely. So now, where are we here? 314. Jeff can finish at 314. So Brandon is in control.
Yeah, there we go, Linda.
That's a big shot by Brandon.
There we are.
Yeah. Again, didn't count it, but
yeah. So Brandon can now punch. He can even punch on the first ball in 10 and still make it to 300. So Jeff is going to need to go off the sheet to have a shot at that one point. And really the same at the bottom. It's not over, but Ian's going to have to. Oh, what? Whoa! Was that left 3 pin on the wrong spot, or was that just some bad luck?
Ball bounced.
Oof. I mean, that's emblematic of how the second half of this match has gone. It's not that Motor City has bowled poorly. It just wasn't put together for them.
We have 1,300 going into the 10th frame.
This could be a big total score for them if they keep up this.
Yes.
What's the current record? 15?
I think there's a 16.
Yes, I don't recall. I know there's at least a 1590-ish going just by memory, but ooh. So now I guess this is 8-0 watch, right?
Yes.
We are now really looking closely at which of these matches Motor City can pull down. Oh no, that's true.
John should have his.
Johnson. If John punches, then it gets interesting, but otherwise. So John, just give yourself a spare on the first ball in 10 and avoid the skunk.
Everybody bear with me. I'm doing total and
go right ahead.
Individuals.
Our job is to let you focus on the stuff that needs doing, so we can just blabber in the meantime. So Matt now can, and I guess now with Motor City that you're trying to get that one and get yourself ready for the next one.
Well, yeah, I think basically for Motor City at this point, it's just, try to get at least some momentum going at the end of this game so you can move on to the next one. Like you need some positive to come out of it.
Oh,
And I guess we'll find out whether we see a change in the 10th just to give either Davin or Nathan a couple of reps to shake the cobwebs off, or if just warming up on the side is good enough for them. I know Nathan more than I know Davin, and I suspect for Nathan, he wouldn't care one way or the other. He'd be happy to just throw enough warm-up balls to get himself ready.
Yeah, I think as long as Nathan's throwing on another lane, he'll be fine to jump in at any point. So
yeah. So now this is the one to watch.
oh, not that many more.
there you go. John got his. So
There we go. All right. So now John can get to 289. Shane can only get to 269. There we go.
Try.
We're not done yet. One more ball for John. Yeah. There we go. That's 274 now for John. And Shane can only get to 269. So it's going to be one for Motor City. John's the savior.
Ooh.
No big rolls for John, but you know that he looks
Consistent.
like, if you didn't know him, you'd think he was all over the place, but he's one of the most consistent bowlers I see with all those extra moving parts.
The same finish on both sides in that 10th.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oof.
So if you can't have 8-0, at least Shane's the one that dropped the point, right? That's what Brad will be thinking.
Yeah.
Better him than me.
259 on that side there. 35. Yeah.
That's 80 to finish, so 259. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Katie with the well-timed punch. Past the point when it mattered. Doesn't even bug you that it's on a spare. Whatever. Just finish it out. Be happy with a really nice, strong game. It's a pity that Linda wasn't on the side more. That would have been a nail biter.
Oh, I just erased my scores.
That's okay. You got time.
I know, right? 255.
And again, in Jeff's case, 4 punches, 2 of them on spares. I mean, you know, this is a 290 game that somehow ends up only at 240. Sometimes that happens, right? If you're going to throw punches, get them in a row.
Still a clean game though, right? So like, there's really not too many negatives you can take away.
No, absolutely. I mean, you really 2 cherried 3 pins in the 7th. That's it. He hit everything he was aiming for the entire way.
Oh my!
And Brad punches, and it's what more powerful feeling is there than to punch and know that it doesn't make a bit of difference?
Yeah.
Where's the spare, Brad? Come on. That's okay. You just know he's given Shane the gears. That's his pastime.
Nice cleanup.
But
For a
what
1467.
a fantastic game from Ian as well. Again, it feels like a 350, and you look up and it's 270.
Yeah, and it's literally the only he had the one chance to spare in the second frame on the corner, and that's the only miss of the game. And it left up 2 pins, I believe it was. I think it was the punch in 9. So it's still a good game. You know, you can't really take too many negatives away from that one, but you know, maybe just getting the rust off for the Mayhem at this point after being off for so long. But Rock and Rollers came to play. They want to keep that spot, right?
Well, it's 1205. It's not bad by any means,
right? Well, similar to what we heard in the comments before the match, right? You throw 1200s and lose. I mean, that's what it is here, and you can't feel bad about it. It's just, you know, at some point on the other side, they got to shoot 1150 to your 1245, and you're going to get away with one. So I'm sure it's coming from Motor City.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Just
let's
not
pull.
not against these ones.
Yeah, let's pull Steve in here. Oh, there's Shane coming in too. Hey, Steve. Shane. All right. So, 1467 with a ton of head pins in the town.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good now.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a big one, but we were obviously happy with 1467. I think it was. Great game, few punches in 10, but we had a good run there in the middle. So able to pull away. Steve's team had it tight the whole way, really. So, or at least up until kept us on our toes there for a bit. But it's 2 games in a row we were able to kind of put the gas pedal down. So it really helps.
Commercial.
How
break
early
really
was
helps,
Brad
guys.
getting on you for not putting your match away?
His opinion doesn't matter.
That's the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen.
And a
Steve?
couple tough ones there especially for Linda, like, and not having a sub in that spot kind of hurt a little bit, but is it just kind of getting the rust off and move on to the next one?
Oh.
Is he muted? Oh,
Yeah.
You're muted, buddy. I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself, Steve.
All right.
Gotta unmute yourself, Steve. I can't unmute you.
Got it.
There we go.
Okay.
There we
all
go.
right.
Try that again.
Yep. No, that was a tough one. I mean, we threw well. We got a couple guys going good, and then they broke off. But they had more people going and never took their foot off the gas. So that's been kind of par for the course all 3 games this year, where we haven't played that bad. Just couldn't get enough people going long enough to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, Linda had a rough time hitting the wrong side of the middle. What was your sense for how things were going with her? Was it anything, or was it just, this is how it goes sometimes?
I think a little bit how it goes sometimes. She got the one strike that was thin, and then I think she got away with that one, and then tried to correct off it the next one, and then the next two she almost threw too careful and punched.
Right.
So it's one of those where if you get a lucky strike or a lucky break, don't even think about it. Just pretend it was a perfect pocket shot. But yeah, she overthinks it a little bit too much sometimes. But she's been one of our province's best players for 35 years now. So she'll bounce back.
So, Mayhem going straight into the next one here. Like you said, it wasn't like an awful score or anything. So, feeling probably, obviously a loss sucks, but it's there, right? So.
Yep. We got 8 more games. If you're gonna lose 3 in a row, might as well make them your first 3. It'd be nice to have more than 4 points to show for it, but yeah, we just got to finish the year like we started the year last year.
And Shane, like we were talking about earlier, with the only 3 matches, well, 2 now left, trying to set yourself up for being at the top of that scoreboard and have everybody chase you. I mean, going 7-1, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I mean that's what we need to do. One game down, we got another one. We got a break, I think, and then a third game or second game. So we got to come back and stay strong. We all know sometimes coming off a big game, it's a bit of a letdown. So we'll do what we can here on this break to stay up and keep it up.
Awesome. Well,
So, Steve, what do you think? Any changes going into the next one, or start with the same 5 and see what happens?
No, I got a couple changes coming up. So
Okay.
just got.
How about you, Shane? Sorry.
Keep rolling.
yeah,
Don't fix it.
yeah, that lineup's been working for a little bit for you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Great bowling, Shane.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right. Let's
Okay,
jump into
next
a
game.
commercial
Luck,
break.
guys.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you both again. So.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, here we are, back at it, halfway through the day. Thanks everybody for
on to the next one.
Oh yeah, at least it's not a 5-gamer. So yeah, some great scores in the last one, and honestly, this whole day is loaded. Let's be honest, everybody's been throwing decent. I'm really excited for this next game.
Yeah, it's nice to see two teams who had a hot start get to face. Now we can get to face each other, see what happens, see whether Durham can find that second half that'll help them put them over the top.
Yep, absolutely. And Rock and Rollers, Shane and the team coming out and just absolutely dominating that first game, even with the unfortunate 10th frame. Almost cracking 1,500, so kind of reminiscent. I don't know, last season when the Holy Rollers, I think, were 905, if I remember correctly, and they ended up finished with like a 14, almost the exact same. I think like mid 14. So, yeah. So why don't we get
maybe someday I'll get to know what that feels like.
You know what, JB? I'll fly over there one day and we'll just be on a team. We'll make this half-ass team and the commentators. I don't know, something like that.
Sometimes they just fall, That's all you can say.
All right, let's jump into it. There we go.
So Mitch, we have 4 points in 3 games, and then you got to bring up the 1920 or the 924 that the Rollers had against us last year too.
Well, usually I would rely on you for those stats, so I'm really happy you're here to bring that. I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us while we're hot.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Hey, Stacey.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
No, warm.
Yeah.
Seems to be the running joke.
Yeah.
So how's the break go on the Roses side?
It's good because the Carnage is playing at the same time today, so they played a match at 10, so we got to pay for them and cheer for them and throw a few balls and have something to eat. But yeah, it's nice when we have the Carnage playing at the same time. It gives us something to do, right? So
yeah, because they played the first two, right? Kingpins and then
Misfits.
Yeah, Misfits. I was like, I can pull this thing up. There we go.
Yeah.
So, all right. You know what? Let's just jump into it. Get you guys bowling. I'm sure Roses are tired of waiting, and Mayhem. I like to just go right to the next game personally. So,
but maybe we should check the lineups just to be sure.
Yeah. Well, I was getting there. Yeah, I didn't forget.
Okay.
right, let's start.
You're the crew here. I don't know when I need to step in.
Okay, Stacy, let's get your lineup there.
We got Parker, Christine, Daryl, Marcello, Derek, and Pam will be the substitutes, and Jennifer is not able to play this match.
Okay. And Steve on the other side.
Yep, couple changes. We got John up top, then Linda, Davin, Nathan, and Ian on the bottom, with Houston and Jeff on the bench.
Perfect. All right. Let's honestly, let's just get into it.
Absolutely.
All right. Play well.
Sounds good. Good luck,
Yeah.
Stacey.
Good match, folks. Who hit them?
Let's get the Roses lineup up. Or not lineup, but roster. And I'll do this one with Parker Anderson, Rich Weber, Jennifer Smith, Derek Holm, Pamela Wilson, Marcello Jurczyk, Daryl Wood, and Christine Poksa, and manager Stacy Weber, bowling out of Topper Bowl in frigid Calgary.
And representing Nub's Fun World, one of the other spiritual bowling homes of mine in Oshawa, Ontario, we have John Cowan, Matt Houston, Nathan Cooper, Davin Florent, Jeff England, Ian McLean, Linda McLean, Connie Ward, managed capably by Steve Barker.
Awesome. And I am slacking, so I'm going to leave it up there. And bam! There we go. All right. So both of these teams don't have audio.
I'm really digging the crystal clear scoring from the direct line from Neb's Fun World. I think that's fantastic. I'd love to see if we can figure out how to do a little bit more of this. Find these HDMI connections on some of these other display systems.
I kind of like the way that the Pinsanity with their one. That one's nice. I know it's a little extra to have to add everything in, but it's nice and clear at least.
Yes, well, that's one advantage to bowling in a center without a computerized scoring system, right? That you can just set up a spreadsheet and do the data entry yourself, and it's not a lot of scoring corrections when you get to enter the scores in by hand. No sensors to go wrong there. Just enjoy scoring.
Just the eyeballs. Those are the only sensors you need.
Yeah, what we really need is like the grease pencil overhead projector system.
Yeah.
Let's bring that back.
Little candle pin action.
Yeah. Well, we had that. I remember that growing up. I think I bowled in a 5-pin, 10-pin house, and the 10-pin side of the house didn't have computerized scoring when I first started bowling in the late 70s, early 80s. So they still had the overhead projector grease pencils for the 10-pin side of the house when the 5-pin side was still just score sheets on the scoring tables.
Yeah, I don't remember anything out here that having that. I remember everything was just, paper scoring.
Yeah.
Back in the days when there was smoking in bowling alleys during YBC and
Yep.
Throw the ball, boy.
Yeah, exactly. The ashtrays in between the seats. That was always the strange thing growing up.
I remember having the score table, and there was the two massive ashtrays right at the front with the roller ball right in the middle of both of them.
Yeah, and the
old Brunswick
the green
tables.
towel. The green towel on the clip that everybody used. I don't know how we all didn't die in our 20s from infectious diseases.
People wash their hands.
Not at Crystal Bowl, I can tell you that. So a bit of an uneven start so far. Linda punching again, so that's now 7 times so far today that she's aimed at the middle and punched. And don't hurt it. Don't hurt it, Cello. That's okay.
That's what the rubber's on the pin for. It just needs a tickle,
There's nothing. That single pin is the easiest shot.
When you're best friends with the 2-pin.
So Nathan with his first shot of the day, dead center. Well, not dead center, but center enough.
The smile said it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have rotated the ball a little bit.
Nathan, I had the chance to have a brief discussion with him not that long ago, and he had really mentioned about how he feels like his mental game has taken a huge step forward in the last year, a lot less reactive, a lot more relaxed, a lot more forward thinking. And it really shows, not that he was necessarily a hothead, but he always seemed like a little bit of a slow burn kind of a guy. And he just seems so much genuinely happier to bowl now all the time. Very, very even keel, always looking forward. And, it's nice when good folks get off their own back. It's really nice to see when they turn that corner and just relax and enjoy what they're doing. And he was happy before, and he's even happier now.
Yeah, it's a lot different when you can kind of be more relaxed about everything instead of, kind of putting that extra pressure on yourself. And like you could see how, like, especially last year he just seemed really relaxed out there. And like, I think the start of the season last year showed when I think it was at Nebs, and he was over 300 for a good, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks. Like, he was playing well.
Yes, putting up those ridiculous numbers, I recall.
Yep.
So John, John nearly cleaning up his own mess.
Yep. That's a good reset, Parker. I can see it from here.
Nah, just go for it.
That might have worked. Just throw a really good ball.
There we go. A big exhale for Linda. I'm sure that left pocket is a great spot for her with that little hook that if she can stay on that left side, those are strikes all day.
Yeah. Oh, there's the ball he wanted to throw.
All right.
I think Davin's the only person in this match that I haven't seen a lot of on the lanes. So I don't know his shot too well.
Strangely enough, although he doesn't have nearly the same amount of movement, his shot looks an awful lot like Ryan's. Ryan Warren, obviously more actual movement on the shot, but in terms of his overall mechanics, both being left-handed, both throwing from roughly the same part of the lane, I mean, even their leg position in the finish, it's a little bit like Ryan is still there.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, and she falls. Just a little tap.
Yeah, better shot. I thought that was going to be at least a corner.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Nathan. That was a strike up in the head. We'll just walk away and pretend it was a strike.
Except you got to shoot it again.
Yeah.
Details.
All that matters is what you remember when you walk away.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? Good shot.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit of an advantage to Toppler early. One double so far, looking for a second one here. We haven't seen this yet. We haven't seen one side get off to a particularly early lead, but certainly Toppler's got themselves in a position to be able to do that. And unsurprisingly, a little thick and it doesn't matter.
Nathan, it was 7-1 for the Rock and Roller, so Mayhem took 1.
Yeah. And the one they took really did come down to the last 3 shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'll make a quick shout out while we're waiting for the next frame to start. Merch store. We're all wearing something of some sort. I'm not going to show it off again. But you can support your team, your favorite team, at bradsongroup.com/5PL merch. Neither of these teams have any merch on there. Like I love that Trash Pandas jersey though. It's so good.
And while we have a brief moment, I would like to take the chance to recognize Randy Morissette on his perfect game not quite a week ago at Polo Park Lanes in Winnipeg. Another one of these centers that has recently switched to the Steltronic scoring system and injects a little more life into the place. And it really is a beautiful scoring system to see. Anytime I walk in and see that, then I know that the future is bright for that bowling center.
Yeah, it was awesome to actually be there to see Randy finally get it, because Randy's been close a couple of times. Like, I know Regina 2 years ago, he had was it the 4:45 game? Had the chop on the last ball.
Yes.
But yeah, I missed the first three and saw the rest of the game, and they were all no doubters. They were big shots. So yeah, shout out to Randy for getting that perfect game.
Yep. And another unfortunate punch for Linda. It really just seems like I don't know if she is, as Steve thought, maybe getting a little bit caught up in her own adjustments and trying to, she makes a minor adjustment and her body adjusts back, and she makes another little adjustment and her body adjusts back. I certainly know that feeling well. I really hope that she can just find the thing that will allow her to, breathe through her eyelids and just throw the ball.
Well, you saw the difference in, like, especially like that second frame was more like her shot. It was kind of that effortless kind of open hand release where you're not really forcing the spin on the ball. And then you look at how she punched that last one, and it was like you got that little bit of extra finger on the ball, and it just went right through.
And I imagine it's the usual thing that bowlers go through, where when they're tense for a while, if they have a tendency to be tense, and then they finally throw one relaxed shot, you can almost surprise yourself. Like, I can't believe I threw the ball that easy. Great. Now I have to do it again. And as soon as you say to yourself, now I have to do it again, the tension is right back where it was. And it's very easy to just miss by the 4 millimeters. And that's all it takes. And I wonder if that's what Linda's going through right now. The second frame strike was almost surprised her at how good it felt. And she was trying too hard to repeat that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nathan dodged one on that frame, missing on the first shot. Cello missed on the cleanup on his second shot. So
yes, as much as Nathan didn't like that first shot, he's got to like Cello's second shot. That's you're playing with the casino's money right there.
Pretty good for a thick.
Derek with a shot that's a chop off for mere mortals, but is a corner pin for him. And Ian with a beautiful hot
being
start.
Ian.
Absolutely.
Ian just being Ian.
There's a reason he's down there, folks. Rock steady.
Yeah, I like watching Ian play. He's one of those guys that just has such an effortless shot.
Yeah, I mean it's a level of smoothness that it's absolutely a joy to watch. Unless, of course, you're on the next lane on the other team, then it's
the other side. Yeah.
Then it's in. I mean, he's one of the most intimidating, quiet bowlers in that he just lets that smoothness of that motion do all the talking, and he can just joke around and have fun. John struggling a little bit early on. This is when you're a little bit more of a feel guy, this will happen. But it doesn't take much for him to snap in and reel off 5 in a row. So we'll just wait and see what happens. Parker,
Yep.
Parker throwing some shoulder at that.
Mm-hmm.
See, like that shot.
There we are, Linda. Yes.
It's
that was
effortless,
a nice
open hand release. It's not turning the ball at all. And it just glides into the pocket. That's what we're used to seeing, like when she's on.
Yeah. So now we'll really be eager to see what's going on in the first ball of the fifth, whether she seems relaxed again or that tension creeps back in. That's a tough break.
Pin gets stuck in the gutter.
Yeah. And at this point, Mayhem really needs somebody to take to take the reins and not have everyone jump on Ian's back quite so early. We need someone to. Ooh, that's interesting. Both
At the
sides.
line.
He was close to fouling on that one too.
Yes. I guess he must be struggling a little bit with that slide. It's I certainly know how that feels.
Who washed their hands at the lane?
Oh, another lazy 3-pin for Daryl this time in the left
The other
side.
Yep.
Fix those. Somebody go down there and put something on those rubbers to wake him up.
Again, a little hoppity hop.
He's not entirely comfortable. I don't know if that's a timing thing or a shoe thing, but
well, it could just be you're worried about
thing.
just going face first after the previous one.
It seemed, if I were to guess, I would say that he's slipping a little bit. Yeah. That ankle got out from under him. Cello now. Yeah. Not 0 for his last 3. There we go. Back near them. And,
he just tapped the middle enough to...
Yeah, it was a good count on a light hit.
Absolutely.
And
all of a sudden we are, it could be as little as 50 pins going into the 5th frame. It looked like maybe Toppler was going to run away with it a little bit, and a couple of unfortunate lazy 3 pins in the 2 and 3 spot and 4, and it looks a lot different now than it would have if those had been strikes. It's a good reminder of just how little it takes to change the results. You really, when you're thinking about your development as a bowler, you can't pay attention to what the pins do.
No.
You just got to focus on your game. It's so hard to learn and easy to say and hard to do.
Well, as much as it is, if you want to be really technical about it, there's also that feel side regardless. So you have to try to find the balance between the two.
Yeah. Yep. That was one thing that surprised me a lot as I was connecting more with sort of how my body felt, that the more I just put all the trying to control my body thoughts out, the more I started to notice what was going on and the little things that your body does that if you're thinking too hard, you won't notice. Once you quiet the mind, then all of a sudden, little tiny things are easy to notice. It looks like we've got a change here at the top for Motor City. Nope, just a scoring change. I don't know if... I thought I saw somebody putting balls down. So I don't know if that's a... Now I'm confused. I'm imagining. I thought I saw John punch on that first ball in 5. Yes, okay. Oh, indeed, it was Matt putting the balls down. So Matt Houston will come in for John Cowan in the first spot on ball 2. And putting a little oil in the joints.
Right through the pipe.
And there's the smoother shot we're accustomed to. So see how comfortable he feels to start 6.
All right, here's the big one here for Linda.
Yes,
if she can
absolutely
get that effortless release back, not try to turn the ball, I think she'll be all right for the rest of the game. Now a little bit of a turn, but still got there.
Yes.
Because you see how different
Derek registering his indignance with Cello's inaccuracy in the last frame and a half. Someone tell the kid he doesn't have to throw it there. Oh, and now 2 punches on the middle in the last 3 frames. And that's the end of the evening. So we'll try it the other way and see if it works. There, kid, that's how it's done. What's the problem?
No, go sit on the bench.
That's right. Think about what you did.
Think about what you did.
All right. Davin quietly putting up a double and keeping the Mayhem in that number 3 spot. Match number 2 is not getting away just yet, and number 1 is in danger. If this is a roll for Parker, then that's going to be bad news for Matt up top. All right, Nathan seems to have got his balance or timing issues together. Derek is wondering why he has to throw a second shot.
Well, you see, it didn't slide enough. Oh,
ooh. A slight miss there and a slight miss from Ian.
Yep.
Oh, I like the instant setup, not even going back. He knows what he did.
Yeah. That's not something I've ever felt comfortable doing, but it might be interesting to try that for one league night just to sort of get used to it. It's a nice tool to have in your pocket. Just go right up there and throw it again.
Good half.
So Ian gets the spare. He's slight lead going into the break.
Yep.
And where do we sit here? 6:41 on the left side, 5:34 on the right.
Yep. Let's jump into that break.
Let's go.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, welcome back, folks.
Yeah. You know, again, like we were talking about last game, sitting at over 600 after the first 5 frames. You're never going to be too sad about that. Generally, the second half is worth more, right? So you keep the pace up here.
And so where are we here at 641 to 534?
Lots of marks to count on Mayhem side.
Yeah. So it looks like right now Motor City has 1 extra mark.
Mm-hmm. Looks like they're getting Rich ready or practiced up. Cello. So, look, we could see them come in for each other. Cello came and saved Rich in the first game. Maybe he, we'll see how this commercial break does, but maybe he
returns the favor.
Right? Yeah. Together, they have one really good game together. Good spare by bat there.
Great
Parker
job.
looking
there's Parker
to claim his
sweeping
first
the leg right
point
there
with the hand bone there.
Well, didn't Parker have like a big league week was that last week or a couple of weeks ago around Christmas?
Yeah, I remember seeing a post about it. I mean, I see all of Stacy's posts. I think, I don't know, Facebook
Linda
likes
back
to
in the
feed me everything
left.
from Stacy.
Linda back in the left pocket.
Brandon Coburn posted something but Parker's been playing well, so.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Linda found herself in the left pocket again. So now she's had two nice easy strikes in the left pocket, one in the right, and that left corner pin a little high on the right side. So maybe those head pin troubles are going to be a thing of the past. She'll just get through the rest of this match, and she's in great position now. Pretty much dead even with Christine after 6. So she can just pretend those first 6 frames never happened. She doesn't have to think about anything that happened in the past, and it's a jump ball at this point.
You know what Linda doesn't have a problem with? Hitting the middle.
Yeah.
No, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Nathan's got his rhythm now.
Yep.
It was nice to see Davin pick up that snort spare there. He had a pretty nice ball side, light on the ball side to kick the ball over for the deuce.
That's his second one, actually. He did it in frame 2 too.
Yeah.
So with Nathan's double, now the marks are even.
Did I miss Rich going in? Is that?
Yes, you Rich threw the third ball in the 5th frame.
Sorry, I've been working with the Caribou Thunder getting the camera set up. My bad.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Well. Oh, it's a chop. Couldn't see. Rich is a little taller, covering the pins there.
And so, yes, now depending on.
There we go.
Oh, just enough there. Yeah, see, piece of cake. What are you worried about?
Looks the same on the scoreboard.
Yep. So this right here now, Motor City's picked up a little bit of room. And so if they can just pick up, 30, 30, 30, we'll be back to tied going into the 9th.
Mm-hmm. Parker honestly just trying to carry the team.
Oh, and that's
in total.
That's a momentum shift right there, perhaps. Ian has been every bit as calm and relaxed as you could imagine. And Derek's now getting a little heavier on the middle, which is typically not a problem for him, but it's a double-edged sword, right? Those punches can come seemingly out of nowhere. You expect every heavy hit to be a corner pin with this guy, but eventually he's going to hit it too thick. So Parker now can perhaps give the rest of his team a bit of a chance to take a deep breath and start again and put that 6th frame out of their mind. And that's what he's up there for. That's what he does as well as anybody in this game.
Just pull the ripcord on the lawnmower and say,
nothing.
Let's go. Yep.
And it really is like he just it's hard to describe because it looks like it looks like it's not as solid as it is, and yet he's able to repeat that motion so well. And it seems
it's just
like
how late the ball grabs.
Yeah.
Because that ball doesn't grab until it's probably about a good, I'd say like 4 or 5 feet in front of the pins, and then it just grabs hard.
Woo-hoo.
Oh. And just as we were hoping that this was going to be the end of that for Linda, another ill-timed head pin. I mean, these punches even haven't had the courtesy to come in a row.
And unfortunately, a lot of the head pins for Linda haven't been full 15s.
Right. I suppose the only savior is that she's managed to get them on strikes, so she's given herself 10 or 15 extra pins this game compared to last, but what can you do?
Yep.
And as quickly as we thought maybe Motor City would start chipping away, Toppler has jumped on the gas pedal. All right. Good count for Davin.
Nathan's frame here is huge, right?
Yes.
There's nothing to count now on the Rosa side. Derek doesn't have anything running, and now it's open on Rich/Jello's game too, right? So these last two frames for Ian.
How much different is it going to feel if Nathan and Ian can go back to back here, and it can almost feel like all that momentum you lost in the last 10 minutes is back. It's one of the reasons why I don't, I don't like to talk about momentum too much, even in the team game, because there's very few sustained attacks in this game. It always seems like it's back and forth, unless one team is just really struggling.
Yeah. From a team perspective, right? It truly it can be a back and forth, and kind of with the players too. Look at Christine and Linda, right? All of a sudden now it's swapped back the other way, where Christine now has the advantage after the last frame.
It's a little bit different too, like especially like bowling by yourself in the center, right? Like so, like if you have a good backing and you guys are playing it like you're playing a head-to-head matchup at say nationals or something against the team, and you're really, really loud and behind the people, it gives you that extra bit of energy. Like, but I know some teams aren't going to be like that when they're just playing with themselves, like playing like on the pair by themselves, right? So
I play completely differently when I'm bowling, even in just regular league or by myself compared to a team. Like I basically don't say anything when I'm not bowling in a competitive instance. But as soon as I am, I'm like, I'm high fives, let's do it, etc.
Oh, it's just the energy that team momentum and all that, like just courses through the lineup when you guys are playing well.
Yeah.
Right, and one of the challenges of being on a team is keeping that energy up no matter what happens. I mean, it's just all that matters is that you feel it. And a frame like the one that Topper just went through in the sixth, the teams that let that silence them are the ones that are going to struggle.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of players, especially like at like higher levels, that when you're playing in cash tournaments and all of that, you're by yourself, and there's a fair amount of people that aren't like overly emotional or celebratory with their frames, but
nice break from Matt.
You kind of have to be like that for a team like event, just to pitch in that extra little bit to motivate people.
Yeah. I know for me, I don't need my teammates to be loud, but I need to feel supported. And you can support me quietly. You can support me by screaming. I'm happy for both. But if I don't have that feeling of being supported, then it's really easy for me to just shut down and I'm out of it.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I really don't think of myself as a particularly good team player.
I've always been like a team, like I'm a team sport background kind of guy. So like I always enjoy playing on the team and that kind of thing. But like, I don't know, as soon as I kind of step up on the lane anyway, I don't really hear anything. I kind of already cut everything else off and just focusing on what I need to do. So
yeah, that feeling of being supported really matters to me in the 12 seconds before I step up on the approach. And then, as you say, once I'm up there, it's fine. I don't know what's going on anyway. Quietly, Toppler has
you're just in
jammed on the gas pedal again. And this is real trouble now for Motor City.
Yep.
What was 50 pins is now 100 pins, closer to 150, actually closer to 200 when you count those three doubles. Yeah, and we've gone quickly from two doubles at the bottom, swinging momentum back to Motor City's direction, to Toppler just starting to run away with it.
Yeah.
Once again, eighth frame.
to the top.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the
They're already
Roses.
1,000.
Yeah. For anybody watching,
Uh,
if you missed the earlier game, the Roses score system doesn't count the extra, the 15 on the double, the last
Yes,
mark on
all
the
those
double.
doubles are counting as 30 instead of 45 right now.
Exactly. So we're plus 45.
All right.
Uh,
So now it's go time. We're now talking about 150, closer to 200. Ninth and the first ball in the 10th is going to decide this right now. Motor City needs a lot of help. They need 2 out of 3 doubles to count nothing.
Well, for
if
a
they're
lot
gonna
of these
have any chance
matches,
of
the
hopping
next
back in this.
frame, the 9th frame will decide it, right? You know, you're looking
Absolutely.
at that top game, even even the fourth one, but on the Roses side is going to decide it.
Well, so first play, the top spot, the Parker's magic number is 273, so he just really needs to keep it in the building.
It's got to be higher than that. 3. He's already at 275.
No. His magic number is 2. He only needs to get to 273.
Okay. Yeah. So he's actually got it already then.
Yeah, he's exactly. He just needs to not fall over. And in
Don't
fact, he can fall
repeatedly
over because
foul.
somebody can go in and finish it for him, and that doesn't really matter. And Christine is, Christine could punch and still hit 240. So Linda's got a lot of work to do in 9 and 10. It's not over, but it's close. Davin's only down about 30 plus a ball. Nathan is worst case up only about 20. And Ian's got a decent shot, especially if Derek punches in either 9 or 10. So there's still some chance for Motor City to, come away with 3 here.
Yeah.
I mean,
not the start that Motor City wanted after their break there. So it's just.
Well, they've only had 4 strikes since the break. 5. So 5. Sorry.
Yeah. So look, if you look at that score there, 311 pins from 6 to 8. That is not the pace that you expect. And, they're going to struggle to get to 1050 in the 9th frame here. In fact, with so little to count on, they're hoping to get to 1,000 after 9, and that's just not going to get them close.
Yeah, they're going to need the 10th frame to get them to 1,009 for the counting of the marks and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, there's a big shot for
That was
Linda,
good.
but unfortunately, it's too little, too late.
Christine with the turkey on the other side.
Yeah. So
you just have to change
Linda. So Linda can still get to 260, but Christine, you got to like Christine's chance to get to 261. Even a punch and some inaccurate pinning is enough.
Daryl with a really thick shot, but that ball was coming over, so it.
Yes, and as long as he sticks in that left side, it's deadly. Yeah. I don't know his shot very well, but now if I see the ball going towards the left pocket, I just stop looking. Davin, trying to at least make it a little harder.
Rich is answering though.
So we got an interesting situation brewing in the number 3 spot because Daryl's magic number is 309, and that's 84 or 86. There's lots of ways to get 86 after a double. So
Nathan needs this one. There you go.
Yep, there we go. Worth the wait. And Nathan has the upper hand, but by no means is it put away just yet. There you go. Another shot that's a head pin to a mere mortal. But it's a strike for Derek Holm. Ooh. Ian now gets to 277. So I forgot where Derek is here. Oh, Derek can't. Derek needs a sparable in 10. But all he needs is a sparable in 10, and he's in good shape.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're picking on Parker for missing the double. It's in the 9th frame strike.
That's true. That's 2 drinks, right? That's an expensive miss.
I mean, he did have the 6-pack before it, but
What have you done for me lately?
oh man, that's some real
What first
short-term
that or
memory.
the 4 on the second ball?
I'm sure he's
$299 is not 300, Parker.
he's sitting there being like, "I'm carrying all your asses to the win here."
That's
so-
right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's when karma comes in and he sticks and fouls.
I can't even hear you. I can't even hear you. All right. Well,
But
a tough.
well, that ain't no
Well, he
stick
didn't
and foul,
foul,
that's
so
for
that's
sure.
good. Yeah.
Great ball.
Tough game in the 1 spot overall between John and Matt. There wasn't a lot they could do. Just nothing went right. And when you throw 2 strikes, you're not going to win a lot of points.
Yeah, especially when Parker.
Not a horribly bold game. Just it's one of those things that looks a lot worse than it was. It looks pretty good on the scoreboard, but it feels bad when you walk away.
Yeah.
All those little inaccuracies adding up all at once.
Parker gets a point.
334 to 202. See, that's all you have to do, Parker, is bowl 330. Just stop expecting to win with 290 and you're fine.
Yeah.
Now
Actually,
let's
this
see
is
if
that-
Linda can get back in that left pocket. Oh,
Aces.
why not?
Wow.
That is the way to end that day. That is the only way to end that day.
Yeah, not too much reflections going on after. I don't know if you want to watch the playback on this one.
Nothing to see.
Just yeah.
On another day, that's just translate everything 7 millimeters to the right, and that's a bunch of missed spares and a bunch of strikes, and she's happy.
Yeah.
Not thrilled, but at least good scoring.
She's just
But
laughing it off here.
when your misses are all in the wrong spot, what can you do? Any bowler would be happy to miss as accurately as that. So the top 2 have already given away nearly 200 pins.
Yeah.
Hard to recover from that, but interestingly enough, the bottom 3 are up for grabs. Everything depends on the first ball in 10.
Davin with
Nice
a
shot
great
by
ball.
Davin.
Yep.
And
Darryl
that
answers.
is it. Daryl sealed the deal. Well done. So
Little
that's
fist bump there. All right.
1 out of those last 3.
His
So Davin
did
now
his ball
has
come back on the other
308.
lane? Or is-
Oh,
left
sure.
pocket.
Sure. At least that happens when it doesn't matter. That's nice. As an
Yahtzee.
opponent, I'm happy to look at that. I can just laugh now. It's fine. There we
Another one for
go.
Davin.
A hampone.
Ooh,
6-pack.
well, that's a nice
on the-
finish.
Yep. He says, "Parker, I got you."
There you go. Well, the 2 of them together through the perfect game. That's great. They didn't get the right frames, but they at least it's 2 6-baggers.
Fair enough. Oh, Richard ball.
Oh, and Rich now putting a little extra, giving Nathan something to look at. Again, Nathan's got 271 up there. So Rich cannot shut him out. But 257 is within 15. So that's certainly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's less than a ball. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, still has yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
not so much now. So 232, a punch makes it interesting.
Push.
Oh, it's
Oh.
a
Didn't change anything, but feels better when it goes down.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, that did. That's true. At least he can't miss that spare now.
Sorry,
You
I
can't
guess
miss
Nathan
that
can
spare to
miss
lose the
twice
match.
and-
Yeah.
He's at what 226 right now, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
yeah.
up there.
There we go. All right. So now this is the last chance. Derek's magic number is 278. That's a lot more than 278. All right.
Yeah, that's 281 right now. So
281 before he even gets up there. Yep. Very nice finish for Davin. Very nice finish for Nathan. That'll wash a little bit of the taste out of your mouth. And now just Ian will go through his 3 balls.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not counting, right? So we're almost at 15.
They're at 1462.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's just counting the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, well, not counting the one.
Tough day.
Yep. Now, for the people who care about round numbers, nope. No 1500 for you.
Hey, 1490.
Yeah.
It's just less of a
round numbers don't matter. 299 beats almost every score that 300 does. 1490 is a beautiful game.
Yeah, it's a good day for the Roses.
Yeah.
A couple of threes on the
board.
board.
And if you're Motor City, what are you going to do, right? 1467, 1490.
Yeah. So 12,
not a lot you can do.
5 and 1249.
Yeah.
That's
again, at some point, somebody's got to throw 1150 against us. What's the deal?
Yeah. Just keep
not today.
Rollers and the top of the Roses are the ones to do it, though. Especially
any given Sunday.
Bowling. Oh, yeah, true. But still.
Absolutely. No, I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah. Based on the current standings and how they've been playing, you would assume it wouldn't be them. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull them in. Yeah. What was that? What was that?
The accidental thumbs down. I'm not sure what that was about.
Down.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Steve, it's 50.
So all these days that I do commentary, I don't badmouth people, right?
No, you're good.
Like holy crap. Anyway, great game, Stacey.
Thanks, Steve. Good game.
Yep. Again, we shoot 12.5, can't really get anything going, and we're always looking at 2 people with 5 or 6 baggers.
Yeah.
Literally. Yep.
Yeah, hard to go against when somebody finds a rhythm like that, especially when it feeds through the rest of the lineup, right?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't thrown good enough ourselves because with this competition you need 13.5, 1400s. So we are just throwing mediocre. But when you're struggling just a little bit and you're always climbing up the hill, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely doesn't help with the mentality, right? Like, and of course, Stacy. I mean, I'm sure your big smiles after today, 14-2.
You know what? It makes it worthwhile coming through like minus 50 weather to get here. I mean, I'm hoping that Toppler's pipes have a burst or something horrible didn't happen when I come in this weather, right? So
yeah.
It makes it worthwhile for everybody to get here. And I mean, especially makes it worthwhile for Parker because he finally got another point. So, he can just give everybody shit on our team now instead of us always bugging him. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's about time.
Makes me feel worse because Parker got a point against me when he came in as a sub, so.
Oh, geez. Well, I want to say thank you both for coming out today, and I know it went really well for one team, and unfortunately not so well for the other team. And
yeah, we've got 3 games in one show coming up next month, and we're gonna have to get on a roll to turn this around.
Yep. Something like 20 to 24 points makes a huge difference, right? So
yeah,
just a hot day. Yep. So.
You can do it, Steve. Remember, we already did this to each other, so you can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, let's jump into that commercial break, and we'll get into our last game.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
care, guys.
Have a good one.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
Yeah. We've had a pretty good day, to be honest. I think we've had, 3-7-1s, if I'm remembering correctly.
Some big
right.
scores by the winning team each time. So.
Yes.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, you can't really... I think we had the 13-25 and then a 14-50-ish and then another close to 15.
Yes.
Right? So...
and in all three matches, it really did seem like 6 through 8 was the period where one side just took off.
Yeah, the breaks being the killer, and that just seems to be an ongoing thing this season.
Yep. Some teams just handle it better than others, it seems. And like Toppler, both times, I mean, they came out of it flying, and Rock and Rollers have a chance to do that again in this.
Let's hope that this is the match that changes it all. This is going to be right from the get-go. Both teams. Let's go.
Part of me is like, I wonder if JB's just wondering if it'll just show a trend. Well, let's get them in here. We'll talk to them.
Absolutely.
There we are.
Hello there,
Shane.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How was your break?
It's great.
Yeah. Great.
What more needs to be said?
That's all.
Shane's just gonna rub it in. It's not as cold there as it is everywhere else in Canada right now. So he's like, yeah,
right.
Better than you guys.
Better than you guys. You can keep that Arctic, whatever the hell it is. And, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Tuesday when it's only minus 20.
Minus 30 here this morning.
Yeah, it was plus. I took my wife to work. It was minus 37 this morning. So.
Yeah, you can keep that. You can keep that.
Oh, jeez. So, Kevin, how long you been waiting?
About an hour and 10 minutes.
So you got to watch the last one?
Yeah.
And feeling good?
Yeah, we're all feeling good. It's been a while since we threw, so.
Yeah. I mean, Shane didn't change his lineup, so I'm sure he's feeling A-okay.
Yeah, we got to keep going. We keep rolling with what's happening.
Yep. Yeah.
Go with what works.
Yep. I know we had the lineups in the chat there. I'll maybe get Kevin to announce his first.
Okay, we got Caleb leading off. I'm in the 2-hole. Hold on, I gotta remember. Brent's in 3, and Lisa, and then Tyler, anchor, and we have Dustin and Vicky on the bench.
Okay. And I know you said, Shane, you have the same lineup, but if you don't mind reminding everybody watching.
Sure, yeah, we have Brandon Tibbs on lead off. Myself will be 2, Katie Wells 3, Brandon Smith 4, Brad Lynn 5, Mitchell Williams and Courtney Lucas is our bench. I should just add, I know last game we had some technical issues. We just letting Kevin know we where the center here is installing a new scoring system. Apparently, the kinks are not worked out yet. The download happens this week, so we're on old sensors. We can't get the score totals. The hardball seems to be not scoring, so we're doing live score corrections. But we're managing. But if you see a few blips, that's us.
No worries, no worries.
And I'll keep that running total up there for you, Kev. So
Thanks. Appreciate it.
yeah,
It helps
no
all.
guessing, no quick math on your end. I'll do it every frame, and then every frame, and then every individual frame in the 10th there. So
Zero math on my end.
yeah, it's all me.
All right,
any
guys,
questions,
play well.
JB? Oh, yeah, all right. We're just
I'm
jumping
just saying
into
it. Just play
Let's
well.
just
We're
go.
going right from the gun, boys. Let's go.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. Good match to
guys.
both of you.
Good luck.
Yeah, all right, JB.
All right. So representing Plaza Bowl in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Shane Chafe, Brandon Tibbs, Brad Glynn, Brandon Smith, Mitchell Williams, Courtney Lucas, and Katie Wells, managed by Shane Chafe.
And then we got the Caribou Thunder. Kyle, you want to do this one?
Sure, why not? So they're playing out at Caribou Bowl. So Kevin McAlpine, Tyler McLean, Alex Airy, Caleb, I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'm not saying it. Brent Morrison, Dustin Morrison, Lisa McAlpine, and Vicky Boudreys, and managed by Kevin and Tyler.
Awesome. And while you guys were doing that, I did this. Just jump right into it.
Fancy.
So
Look at
once
that
again,
snail.
we haven't seen too much in the way of a hot start. We've seen most of the movement happen in the 6th, 7th, and 8th frames.
Mm-hmm.
Even with a bit of a hotter start, it seemed like a bit of a lull in 3 through 5. So I think the lesson for today is don't pay too much attention to the first 5 frames, and let's just see what happens. Don't believe the difference until we get to the 8th. And a beautiful start right there.
Good start. Yeah.
And we actually have both teams have audio this game, so that's always nice.
Oh, Tibbs is feeling it for sure. That was a little bit of extra confidence on that shot. He really is a wonderful leadoff bowler. He seems to have, I don't know him very, very well, but watching him bowl, his demeanor really does scream igniter. And, you know, if he can keep starting games with 4 or 5 in a row, then put that together with his personality, it's I couldn't imagine a much better leadoff bowler. That's how I draw them up.
Unbiased commentary by JB here, wearing the Rock Rollers jersey.
Yeah.
Well, and
I was just going to say, man, those basketball players are good bowlers.
Of all the cities in Canada that I've bowled that aren't the places I was living at the time, St. John's is where I've bowled the most. I started bowling there after Summerside hosted the Atlantics tournament. I think in 2014 it was my first taste of sort of top flight Atlantic bowling, and I started bowling in the Atlantics every year starting in 2015. Then became semi-regular on the Newfoundland bowling tour. So apart from the places where I live, I don't think I've thrown more balls in any place other than St. John's. So I've got to know a little bit these folks over the last decade. And like I said, it's one of my bowling homes.
No, absolutely. I mean, that would be me if I got to commentate the Kingpins games. I just don't. They're on the other side, so instead I get to commentate Schwartz's division instead of his actual games.
Well, so we have a bit of a slower start for the Thunder, but unfortunate miss spare right there.
Yeah.
2 strikes will certainly help them get things going. And a punch on ball 2 from Brad. So 3 strikes on the right side, 2 on the left, maybe a third one. And once again, you end up pretty much even after 1.
Yeah. Lisa rode the rails on that one. If you guys were watching that 2-pin go.
That is especially interesting for a hook bowler.
Mm-hmm.
It always surprises me when people do it, and what surprises me more is the number of people who manage to make it work. You just get used to it, and it's fine. It's not how they teach it, but If it works,
Nope.
it works. So 3
Interesting,
strikes on
yeah.
both sides. Just the difference of a
Heck
spare
yeah.
to an open.
Yep. And like JB was saying, especially if we got some kids out there watching, etc. The game is not decided by the 4th or 5th frame, right? Imagine yourself in that little commercial break, and then you're all of a sudden topper. You're Parker Anderson. You're Daryl coming out of that last game, and I think he finished basically with the 6-bagger, right? So
Another great shot for Caleb on the start
Mhm.
there. I think that was the first time Brandon's missed the middle today too.
yeah, great half.
Oh, there we go. Looser shot from Kevin that time. A little unfortunate placement, but certainly looked like the first shot looked a little stiff coming out of his hand, and that looked a lot looser and more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sometimes it just takes an extra few shots to get into the feel of the game. So if he's
Shane
settled
with
in now,
the hammer.
Yeah, Shane with an.
Yeah.
Honestly, Shane's first ball in the first frame was an absolute bomb. It just the pin got stuck in the gutter and didn't take the 2.
Yes.
They weren't that different of shots. It's just unlucky.
Yeah.
And Katie come back just to find enough of the left pocket.
Yeah.
If she's on that left side consistently, then Brent's in an awful lot of trouble.
It seemed a little fast by Brent there. Really pushing it.
So yeah, it wasn't off like too much. Just kind of glided out a little bit at the end, but see if he answers. The same thing.
Unfortunate.
Well, copy and paste.
Nice half
Great
by
half
Brandon.
by Smith. Yeah.
Well, sometimes a miss feels good, and so your body just wants to do it again, right?
Well, I mean, he didn't miss by much, right?
No,
on
indeed.
that first one, so.
And really,
Actually,
what
that
are the
last
odds?
one,
that last ball was, that last ball was certainly tough, but the second one probably didn't feel like it was. That's one of those ones that looks like it's going to hit until the last 15 feet.
She really needs that right pocket.
Yes. Or slightly livelier rubbers.
Yeah. Brad with the great cleanup.
I often wonder when bowlers go up the side like that, especially if they are throwing a ball that moves away from the gutter, how much of that just really boils down to I can't throw the ball out because if I throw the ball out, it's going to drop in the gutter 2/3 of the way down. And so there's an awful lot of missing inside towards the lane, just because that's that little feeling in the back of your mind that I can't overthrow it. I've got to take it easy because otherwise I don't want it to drop in the gutter 2/3 of the way down.
Yeah.
Just gotta give yourself all that lane. Make sure
right. That's
your arms, your marker, you're drawing a line. Come on.
Yeah, that's a nice shot right there.
Tyler's another one of those players the last couple of years. It's really kind of come to play in all the events that he's been in. Then he's been
showing up too.
Yeah, he's had some success. And he's a quiet guy out there, not too loud when he's playing well. So you look over and he's on a 6-bagger,
Yep.
I think we felt a lot better about that shot than Caleb did.
I think that was the wrong side, right?
I think that was it just hung on and happened to clip just enough of that head pin.
Let the bowling god take the wheel on that one. Whatever happens, happens.
Well, and
the
with
last
that
time I
shot,
remember watching Caribou play, like it seemed like they have a center that has really lively pins.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something you don't see a lot because I cut the image down. Those posts continue past the camera too.
Yes.
So there are a lot of posts holding up that building that you actually have to navigate from within the approach, etc. Safety
first.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that building's coming down anytime soon. I actually didn't notice it until I went to go cut it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because the camera is actually sitting beside one. It would be the next one in line on the left side.
So now, Kyle, is that something that I'm trying to think now how you throw, and I don't sort of have you in my mind as having the really big left arm sticking out way off to the side. Has stuff like posts on your left side never been an obstacle for you?
Wall, like if you're playing on a wall for me, sometimes it's an issue, like because I'm tall too, right? So I do stick up my arm for a counterbalance. So yeah, places that have like a really tight wall, like I know in Regina on lane 1, sometimes I have issues.
Yeah, I've scraped that a few times.
Winnipeg, there's not too many places anymore that really affect me. Like back in the day, the old academy upstairs used to be really hard for me to bowl because that one was like the wall was literally on the gutter. Like it was really close. But yeah, it all depends. Most of the time it's just on that lane, you'd make just an adjustment. You throw the ball a little bit different. So you move in like a board and a half and just try to throw a little bit extra sauce, and seems to work.
Yeah.
Picking corners on the other hand, it's a little bit different.
Exactly. Here in Charlottetown, there's they have a couple of the pillars which are probably about 6 feet from the foul line, and they are the ones that have like the decorative faux brick covering.
Oh yeah.
And so the worst part isn't even hitting it, but is like scraping your left hand if you happen to drag your hand by, and you come back and you've got blood on a couple of your knuckles from not even slamming into it, but from just scraping it on the way by.
Just scraping it.
Yeah, at least the wood paneling is not a big deal, right?
Yeah, a couple of the places, like I remember Mosey downstairs had kind of on lane 11, there was a wall that was kind of weird because I guess it was plastered over and there was like little staples and stuff in that wall. So every now and then, if you touched it, you might catch the wrong spot and get like a little bit of a nick. But
yeah, like Heritage has plaster walls, and if you end up scraping those specifically on like lane 1, or if you're left-handed on lane 20, then it's not a big deal. I know a lot of kids are worried about it, so I go stand them up there, and I'm like, just walk your line with your arm fully extended, and notice how you're not even close. Like, don't worry about it.
It only becomes an issue if you start thinking about it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Caleb spared a chop fairly easily, and Kevin threw a beautiful right pocket strike to give Caribou its first taste of real momentum here. They're kind of feeling like they're getting in a little bit of a roll.
And Lisa found the right pocket last frame too, so she there we go.
That's a huge shot for Brent. Hopefully to get some momentum before the break, or that's probably going to be a spot that I would assume that they would make their sub in.
Yeah. And meantime, 2 doubles so far for Rock and Rollers with 1 good count on top. So not certainly not running away with anything just yet. But as we've seen, right, it's 600, 520 through 5, and then the fireworks start coming. So it's looks like we might be on pace for another one of those right here. Lisa with 2 nice shots. That is a tough start. It feels good until you look up at the scoreboard and it's somehow only 60 through 3, and you think, wow, I bowled better than that. But that's spares will keep you in.
Yep. Everybody practice your 2 pins.
Yep. Shooting a single pin is the easiest thing to do in this game. You only have to hit 1. Don't worry about deflection. Don't worry about rotation. Just get it right.
if those rights were spared, it'd be 108 right now.
Yeah.
In 4.
And Tyler punching puts a little damper on the build, but on the middle 4 out of 5 there, on the middle 4 out of or 3 out of 5 in the previous frame, feeling a little bit like, okay, we're not struggling now, we're just not getting breaks yet.
Yep.
So here's a good chance to have a nice feeling going into the break.
We're right in the pocket, right?
Good reaction right there.
And Brad found it.
Yeah, good bounce back for Brad.
Okay.
So yeah, Rock and Rollers are clear by not quite 100. I think both sides have 1 double counting. And Caleb's got to be feeling good right now. So I think, again, just keeping pace with each other, and things are about to get really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, beautiful ball right there.
Caleb with a great first half of the game here.
Absolutely. It's really actually making Tibbs work.
Yeah.
There's the answer.
Great
So
answer.
there.
Yep.
He's ready for the competition. So
A commercial break. I think that's going to be a key in this game. Oh no.
Oh, that's a beautiful kick.
yeah, there's the kick that I was talking about.
Shouldn't have needed it. Got it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I guess, the biggest shot for Caribou right now in the front half
Yes.
is just seeing if Brett can get something going before a break.
Yeah.
Like the spare was nice, but yeah, we need a hit on the first ball here.
Yeah. The only one's been his first frame break. So. No. I think.
Yeah, I'm
I
thinking.
think that was the I'm done. That was the I'm done look.
This is your last chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right, Dustin coming in.
That's a delicate situation to deal with. I mean, especially in the open where you have sometimes you have people with a little bit less experience. Is that the coaching moment when you're starting to think about who you want to pull and whether or not you let them know what you're thinking? Because on the one hand, I like coaches that communicate their intention to me, but on the other hand, I don't like going up there thinking if I miss, I'm going to be pulled.
I feel like, you know.
Yeah, if you should have a feeling of when it's coming.
Because almost,
especially like when it's been like especially in a tight match,
beautiful.
Right? Because all it takes is kind of that one frame to get somebody to take a big advantage on you, right? So it's just a matter of playing the odds.
You know, most players know when they should be pulled in general.
Yeah.
Some people are harder on themselves or have more faith in themselves than the actual coach. But in general, it's pretty much straight on.
And there are some people who really know when they want the break, and I'm not one of those people.
What a bounce off the wall for Brad.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's power right there.
Well, Caribou couldn't have done much more to get themselves in a good position.
Yep. All right, 6:05 to 5:56. Still a really close game. Lots of strikes and a double to count on Caribou's side. Brad on the other side with a double as well. So it's pretty much dead even as far as marks are concerned.
Let's see who deals with the break the best.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the decider. 3 minutes.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right. The decider has been played. Let's see who liked it and who didn't. You know, can both teams just like it for once and we have a close match at the end here?
Yeah, so I know that I've said once before that that this Rock and Rollers team, carries the emotion pretty out in front, but they also it seems like very little rattles them. So it's more that they really have found a good way to get a lot of the benefit of feeling amped up. Nice, there's a Plaza Bowl hit. A lot of the benefits of being amped up and carrying each other without suffering a lot of the downside of getting down on themselves and whatever. I mean, they tease each other so much. They've got to be over it by now. Any of those bad feelings have got to leave pretty quick.
Oh, the team mentality thing, and the fact that Shane, Brad, and Tibbs, they've played so much together at like the national level, and you have that. Even Mitch, like these guys have all played so many times together as a team that this is just a bonus.
And it is one advantage of being in a province where there's just one big city.
Yeah.
And that the people the elites tend to be all in one place, and I mean they're young. Maybe not Shane, but they're young, generally speaking. And so it makes it like they could bowl together for another 20 years. And it's just a pity that the Atlantic team tournament is gone, because there could be some absolute dominating teams that could be bowling together for 30 years. It'd be nice to get more of these top flight team tournaments going. I just don't know how to do that in a way that doesn't turn it into 2 or 3 teams dominate the entire competition and it's boring. Whether that means trying to draft teams on the day or whatever. It'd be nice to see a team competition that's more localized to supplement this. And maybe that can be the kind of competition that can really breed bringing young people into 5PL over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
This is the prestige bowling. This is what it is now. This is what kids should be watching, the same way that I watched the CBC championships in the 80s and 90s.
And honestly, I'm 32, so I was kind of in the middle. Born 91, so I didn't really get to watch much, or even knew that.
There's a nice break right there for Dustin in there is taking over for Brent.
Yep, yeah, it was great. But it's great
Well,
to
I
be
remember
part of it.
growing up and seeing, was it the Hiram Walker one when that was on TV, and just some of the animated players that played in there, like it got you motivated to want to be a good bowler.
Absolutely beautiful shot from Lisa. Really has had just, I mean, again, yet another bowler who relies on a lot of movement and yet knows how to put that ball in the right spot. Just beautiful, beautiful shots. A real pity that she couldn't spare either of those corner pins.
You know, you've got Tyler and Kevin and Caleb and Brent / Dustin on the team, but Lisa has been a large factor to Caribou Thunder's, success coming out of the gate, right? They're sitting at 0.5 overall. But if you go back and watch some of Lisa's games, she carried them in some of them. So.
And that's exactly the kind of ball that doesn't look particularly intimidating when you see somebody warming up in the lane next to you, and then you just come out there and just put it in the same place every single time. And especially if they get off to a slow start in the match against them, you can be forgiven for thinking, oh, I've got this one in the bag. And then all of a sudden, just double corner pin spare, and you wonder what happened. It's over before it started. And those are fun matches to watch and difficult ones to bowl in.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, with Caleb's head pin, I'm hoping this isn't the break coming into effect again here in our match.
Yeah, because really, Caribou, I mean, 4 out of 5 matches are just solid. You know, it's not like they have one player running away with it for them. It's been a team effort so far, and unfortunately, the last 6 frames have not looked great. 1 strike in 6 frames, even though they've and 2 missed chop spares. So this is Rock and Roller's chance to just run away and hide.
Oof.
Oh,
it's a great ball. Just couldn't carry that corner.
Nothing wrong with that. And it wasn't even high on the left side. Just the right 3-pin landed in the wrong spot.
This pin spun the other way. Just rolled in front. Great
there
pick,
we go.
though.
Nice spare there. And that light on the right side, that one shot that is almost a guaranteed left corner for Shane. You'd think with his ball speed he'd get a ton more sweepers, but it seems like he leaves that left corner up on that thin on the right side a lot more often.
He really doesn't want to count his shots.
All right, so Dustin now coming off the bench.
Oh.
All right. Just his 4th shot, first hit on the middle. Settle in and finish it up. As Rock and Rollers continue to score semi-manually. So if Katie throws a big shot here, and that's really going to play a little bit with Dustin's head, I think. Oh, almost carried that.
Great shot by
wow,
Lisa.
Another great shot.
You just marvel. It's so, I want to bottle that consistency and sell it. All right. Katie walking away from a corner pin spare, as she often does.
There we go.
Stared down Shane when she came off the lane and said, that's how you pick a corner.
That's right. What's your problem?
Oh,
nice messenger right there.
Brandon comes off, and it's like, and that's how you just don't leave a corner.
That's right.
Yeah. That's how you.
Everybody really, at this point, everybody should be just walking off and pointing to Shane on the way by.
Yeah.
Shame.
That's how you throw a 2-pin.
There we go. Oh, he's going to do it. That's right. A little look right there. And Rock and Rollers have kept pace. It's been a while since we've needed to say kept pace, but they kept pace in that frame. And now let's see if Tibbs can get back on the side and carry it over the finish line. It's only it's under 100, and Caribou are counting on a double, so nothing's decided yet. Caleb got that out a little bit more.
Yeah, there we
that's a
go.
lot.
Not going to
That's
punch
more
again.
like what he was doing.
Yeah, much better shot.
Force
Makes
it.
me wonder if those early strikes were babying it a little bit and getting a little lucky. And certainly he didn't love the ball he threw in the third frame and happened to hit the left corner light. And that was that one. If you don't like that, you don't like bowling. That's as comfortable a shot as I think he's thrown all day.
Yeah.
Kevin did miss by much on that one. That
No.
was pretty close.
If he had
Big
just
shot
touched
here.
the rubber, that would have been everywhere.
That's a corner pin, yeah. Well, I suppose with these bouncy pins, you never know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would have sent it everywhere.
There we go. Oh, a little
Low
inside.
Oh,
A little inside. That's the one you walk back and say, yeah, that's legit. And Shane with
He
the
says, if
strike.
I throw a strike, I don't have to shoot the corner.
That's right.
yeah, he came off with the "stop making fun of me" shot.
Right. All right. Well, Kevin is now in pretty good shape. He has he's got 281 sitting up there.
Ooh. KD with the open here.
Yeah, Katie's match is really the only one that's fairly well decided. All the others are close, and so Katie's the difference in total right now.
A strike here for Dustin though could actually change that around. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. We're only in 8.
Yeah, we're just
You're
coming
only
into
in
8
8.
here. So
I was going to say, wow. So that's true. Brent is now sitting at 260. So Katie does need. Katie can get there with without a double, but it's no, one punch is enough to put it in doubt. And another, just a little light on the left side.
Great count. But we're getting what we asked for. Both teams are starting
Absolutely.
to fire up right now.
yep.
Yeah, we're going to be. This is not running away with it. This is both sides getting in groove.
no.
Oh, an unfortunate miss for Lisa.
So both sides opening up in the fourth spot.
Yeah.
Oh, a simultaneous throw. Something you don't see in bowling.
So, that's the all important to head by a little more than 30 going into the last 2 frames. That makes a big difference. And so now Tyler can at least. Oh, well, I like Brad's chances to answer, and this is going to be a nice finish all around.
Expect a excited Brad with a fist pump here.
Yeah.
Fist pump or clap? I'm going fist pump.
Little extra time.
Oh.
For a lot of bowlers, that's the kiss of death, but not for Brad. He likes to have a pretty good tempo, but he does not worry about taking a little extra time on a key shot.
Yeah, I do not like to take extra time. That's for sure.
And although it didn't work out for him on that shot, there's lots of times where I've seen him take 15 extra seconds and then throw a strike like it's nothing.
Yep. I find if I need extra time, I need to step off.
Yes, I'm the same.
I need to have the same amount of time before I throw, but I'll step off and then go back on.
I got the stupid mindset where I think I can fix everything if something feels off. So me stepping off or me balking does not happen very often.
Yeah.
So we were 30. Ooh.
Yeah, that was a 46 pin difference going into 9. And that's the first. Caleb, not quite as loose on that one. Or maybe a little too loose. Brandon does not miss.
That's one of those shots where you
back
just
to
wonder
back.
what the hell you were doing.
Yeah. It felt good until I started bringing the arm down.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Well, that's unusual, certainly, but it happens. And now we have a real nail-biter finish. That's literally a 15-pin difference going into 10.
Yep. And for anyone watching, remember the 15 pins is huge. Is really important when you're comparing scores because that's exactly one strike. essentially.
It's a big one for Shane there to get the advantage going into 10.
So, for example,
And-
Caleb can throw a double and then anything and shut Brendan out.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin
Being up by
needs his
16 or
dad
31
saying
is fantastic.
Katie says, I can do that too, Shane.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, Kevin. That's unfortunate. Get tapped on the previous one. I mean, the previous spare was not a great shot, but it could have gone. This one, if you add those two up and divide by 2, that's 2 spares. You never know how you're going to miss. You never know how you're going to miss and when.
Oh, and Rod just powers
There's
through
the
that
fist. There's
Yep.
the fist swipe.
one.
Yep. And that's the dance
So
away
good
right
it
there.
didn't
that we
even
know.
mark it in the system. Look
Yeah,
at
right.
that.
That's right. Brad can point to his bicep and just
Great shot
make
by
sure.
Dustin. That's huge to keep some light in that one.
Yes.
me
And
get
actually now that's 4 good shots in a row from Brent 5 or from Destin 5. In fact, since he came in and missed on the first ball in 6. Oh, a little thick. Both of those corner pins in the first 2 balls were almost that shot there. Just unfortunate that's not going to be an easy spare.
No. Although,
and so that
with the hook.
Yeah, that should leave Lisa up by 31 minus a strike. So this is interesting here. Oh no, 28 minus a, and again, big difference. There's a big difference between being up 28 minus a strike and being up 31 minus a strike.
Yep.
That's an entire ball right there. You just gave
Tyler's
your opponent a ball. That's tough.
Tyler needs this one to keep them in it.
Yeah, needs this one to keep the team total there.
Yeah, this is huge.
So a strike here gets the Thunder within 32.
Yep. Yeah, 1,052.
Oh, again, just a touch light.
Yeah.
Just a touch
also,
light.
the ball's moving right to left, right? So
yeah,
you have less room, more room for error on the left side.
Yeah. If you had a deeper angle, that probably carries.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. All right.
So
Mitch.
34 difference. And where are we with strikes? Rock and Rollers counting 1 double, 3 single strikes. And Thunder counting a double and a spare. So with a difference of 34
right now,
on the scoreboard, call it 80 and hope for the best. Rock and Rollers up around 80 right now. Wow.
Wow.
It thought about it.
Definitely needed that one.
And
though.
Caleb got that ball out there. That looked
Yep.
much better. That was closer to that strike in 8. So exactly what you were talking about. One more strike and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One more strike and you got half a point, and then just keep it in the building for the other half. Now it's all for the team.
Oh yeah.
Another beautiful ball.
Great shot.
Confident strike in the left, higher in the left pocket this time. So
and the punch on the other side seals it.
All right. That cements the point, and Tibbs will be shaking his head at the way that one finished, but that's why you have 4 other bowlers.
Yep. 238. I know it's.
Oh, well, you never know. 2 more is always nice.
So we got 1109 on this side.
All right. 1109 to 1090, and again, both sides counting a double. And Rock and Rollers have 3 other strikes. There we go.
Oh, bomb!
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin can at least make up a bunch of total right here. He's got a chance to pick up 15 for his team. I guess not 15. No, he can stay even with Shane for his team. There it is. All right. So Kevin helping to give away less by keeping his team in it. We'll need a score correction on the Rock and Roller side to finish that up.
It's a frame too late for Kevin to find that line,
Yes.
but still ended up getting at least some back for the team total.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now I imagine that he
No,
was
this is
a little
an
luckier
interesting
there.
one.
Those two spares would have done it. Katie, right side. Yes.
Big shot.
Big shot for both the match and the totals. And that is the first missed shot out of the last 6 shots for Dustin.
Oh,
Katie with another
beautiful
one.
ball.
Both pockets are open. I think that spells the end. Rock and Roller's advantage the rest of the way is not going to be denied today. So the first one that really was pulling away in the 10th instead of pulling away in 6, 7, and 8.
Jeez.
Well, Thunder
Yep.
still have at least the chance, right? So they can still hope to get the 3 depending on what goes on. But
Exactly. So Brandon's magic number 275. So right now, Lisa needed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now it gets very interesting. We got 261 to 259 maybe.
Oh, good half.
Sorry, my mistake. Minus that's a spare, so minus 15 on my side. So this is close.
Good spare on the other side for Lisa.
a little luck. That's
Yeah. So
Brandon's been throwing it really well. So
and there it is. All right. So not much to do here.
nope. Keep it on the deck.
Yep.
Well,
And that's the
not a
ball game.
corner.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's steady right there. That's
Yeah.
steady right there. And what a wonderful game that is to even with 3 corner pin spare misses.
Ooh.
So 6-2.
Just adding up all our numbers here.
Yeah, I guess just avoid 3-hole, I think, and we're good. Although, unfortunately, we've seen that before. Not today.
Brad should throw a bomb and just step on the line. Show dominance.
Just yell out, Shane!
Shame.
Oh, that's your pin, Chafe.
This is the...
Well, look at here.
1, 3, 5, 7.
Somebody, what's that? They won a game without 1,400. What's going on? I guess it can be done.
All right. Back to us.
Well,
Still a good match.
Two 13s, 2 14s, big scores. And yeah, 4 losing scores that were pretty much around the same, right? They were all low to mid 1200s.
Yep.
We had a little bit of everything today. And that was the first time that we really saw one team just pull away in the 10th, as opposed to making their move earlier. But if there's one theme from today, it's wake me up in the 6th. Don't even worry about the first 5 frames. Just keep going. Wake me up in the 6th, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, just the break seemed to be the killer for some of the teams today. But, at least that last match, it kind of broke the trend for a little bit. It was just, got down to 9, and they didn't have enough going in 9 to bring it into 10 to keep it close.
And that, oddly enough, that seemed like the overall best bowled match of the 4, even though it wasn't the highest overall score. hitting the middle more. Not as accurate in the corner pin spares, but not a lot of missing.
Yeah, not having a couple of those big runaway games in there that basically over-influenced the bottom total.
Right.
But, it was nice to see more of a competitive head-to-head match.
Yeah. Because there wasn't even a 5-bagger in that game, was there? Was there even 4?
I'm looking at. I can only see the Thunder side.
I think there was a turkey. There was.
Yeah, I don't even remember a 4-bagger in there. So yeah.
Well,
keep plugging away, and there you go.
Kevin, Shane, hello.
Hey guys.
So not a 7-1. That's a thing. Everything else today has been 7-1. Yeah. Honestly, that was the first close match we've had today, down to the 10th on a lot of that. We had a couple turkeys in the 10th for the Rock and Rollers, right? So
yeah, I mean, I think that we probably both sides never really had one person take off, so it was about getting your spares and getting your counts. I think the biggest difference of the game was probably length frame. We threw 4 strikes against a few opens, and that gave us a bit of breathing room in 10. But I mean, that was a real tight game. It was close, and even the 10th frame, I think every point could have went either way. So it was a good match.
Yeah, that was the first time for us today that the match wasn't decided in 6 through 8. But it was also the first time that nobody lit it up. Nobody ran away with their individual matches. So you didn't have that 6-bagger lean on.
That's right. 350 on either side, and different. Look at this guy. Go away.
It was a grinding game.
It was.
Yeah, it really was. So,
it's the game that the viewers want to watch, right?
Yeah, it comes down to well, you guys went point, and then total fell. Unfortunately, the totals were larger on Rock and Roller side for those points, right? So.
Yeah. Well, at least it was just a couple of corner pin spares short of actually running away with that match too. So that the score didn't reflect how well she bowled that game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she had a few missed corner spares, but
I mean, it was really good overall. Yeah. So
coming back and still hitting stuff, put up a fight at least right to the end. Like you guys were saying before, like it was nice for us today to finally get one that was pretty competitive after the break, and it was literally just a couple bad breaks in 9 for you guys that kind of swept it for like at least a 10th finish for every match. So.
Mm-hmm. And it really seemed like Caleb loosened up in the second half. He was accurate, but maybe looked a little bit tight, a little bit tentative, and then big loose shot in 6, big loose shot in 8, and it really looked like oddly enough, he didn't strike as much, but he looked better doing it.
Yeah. After the break there, he was a little gun shy, but he found it again.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you start with 3, and then chop spare, and then another strike. Yeah. In the first 5. So. So Shane, 13-3.
Yeah, it's a big day. I mean, like I said, we're trying to finish our season strong, so 13-3 probably puts us in a position where we want to be and one to go.
Yep. And I know coming into it even, unfortunately 2-6, Kev there for the Thunder, but still lots left, right?
Yeah, we got 3. I think we got 3 more matches.
Yep. So you're now in Rock and Roller's position. Starting from this point, 3 games left. So
we got. It's important now. I think it's always important, but it's more now for us. So.
You can't just glide. You don't have enough points to just sit around and we'll just play these next 3 and whatever happens, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, one of the big stories of the day was going to be whether Rock and Rollers was going to be able to hang on to first place. Now you're right around 700 ball. It's got to be a nice, comfortable position to be in. Yep. And with just one match left, as you said, exactly what you said earlier today, right? Let's finish it up, and let's see if the others are going to chase us.
Yeah, and I think with so mmany games left, like all the top teams had to play each other. So someone has to lose type of thing, and that's our advantage, really. So I'd much rather put the points on the board and let teams look.
Top 5 is looking pretty safe now.
It is.
They got the easy job of drinking beer and watching the other teams beat each other up.
Oh, jeez.
Coming from an expert, Kyle Young, an expert in the area. Yeah.
Expert beer drinker, Shane, and Brad.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for finally giving us a close one today, down to the wire, back and forth, and
Glad we could make you happy.
yeah, somebody
Thanks,
did.
guys.
Finally.
Yeah, all the best for the rest of the
day,
season,
but-
boys.
Well, they were all good, but this was the best of the group.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And thanks for all the viewers joining us today. And I think we're actually might be done a little bit early. I'm way ahead of schedule, so maybe you can go catch the end of the other game over on the other channel there. So
There you go.
Who is that? It's Misfits and
Misfits and the
or
knockouts.
And the knockout.
Yeah, especially after the knockout sweeping the Bombers a couple before the holidays there. So
I think the knockouts lost their last one 6-2 to the Dynamite. So Dynamite, I'm pretty sure, sealed first place with that win. So
fair enough. So awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna run one last commercial break and we'll call it.
Thanks, guys.
have a good one.
All right.
Have a great one.
Bye. Thanks very much, folks.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.